Welcome to the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast.
If you like a lot of wrestling on YouTube, join our cult. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, diddlers of all ages, Cultaholic proudly brings to you both halves of the fourth best podcast as voted by Squared Circle 2019 of the world. The Big King, Ross Twaddell. The pain in the ass, Jack the Jobber. The Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast. And of course, if you're not down with that, then we have two words for you. Like and subscribe. Pressing the dulcet tones of Maffew, who does read the mailbag and suggestions. Joined as always by Ross Twaddell and Jack the Jobber. First of all, Ross, how the hell are you?
Lovely, Maffew. Even better because I looked at last week's podcast comments and we have an incredibly famous viewer. And I don't know how this could have happened without them watching the entire podcast, because commenting on last week's podcast was the verified account of Guinness World Records. 1 day ago, the comment was left, was that Ross mentioning record breakers, ? Exclamation mark, and then the eyes.
Wow.
9 likes I had at the time when I took the screenshot in front of me. So how could they find that unless they were watching the podcast? That's why. You can't detect sound, can you, on YouTube?
No. Someone could have tagged them, maybe.
Yeah,
but
maybe,
either way, you know, that's big.
Hello, Linford.
It's the biggest one since Big Lewis, isn't it?
Quick, someone mentioned a TV show from 20 years ago. Quick, get him. Awesome. Oh, we have all that power? That's great news, Ross.
We need to find a terrible, like a crap world record we could break here as a trio over Zoom somehow and get ourselves in the record books.
Is it bad, Ross, when you start saying that about Guinness World Records? It was going to be about Jack's tweet, and they've actually got 1 billion Pokemon ready to fight 1 billion lions. Oh, well. I thought you were going to say, because I was going to say in the little news at the end, Jack, and you appreciate this before I ask how you're doing, is that we mentioned summoning Salt, and then he came up with a new video.
Yes, he did.
So power of this podcast, wow.
I know. Excellent.
How are you doing, man?
Oh, mate, I've had a terrible week. I've had such a bad week. 3 things, sorry, just so I don't forget. I got a tweet from Alyssa Hannah, who said, this is to all of us, every time my fiance sleeps over, I fall asleep listening to your dulcet tones since he needs to listen to something to fall asleep, and it's almost always you guys. Want to give him a shout out. His name is Alex, and he's a numpty. So, shout out to you, Alex. Thanks, Alyssa, there for the tweet.
Thanks, Numpty.
Happy to do that.
Thank you, Numpty.
Hope that helps you fall asleep.
Yeah.
Mate, I've had a shocking week. First of all, on Monday, I rang home, see how my parents were doing, and my brother and that. Just haven't seen them for ages because of COVID. And I was like, how you doing, Mum? You all right? And she was like, yeah. She was dead calm as well. She was like, yeah, you're fine. Did you get my text? I was like, no, I must have missed it. What's happened is they've had a home intruder. I know no one's hurt. Everyone's fine. But, my mum's got in the car. She's gone off to the shops. And my dad, because he's in his 50s and a man, has got a shed in the garden, like many men do. And he was on his way back from the shed into the house and walked in, and there was a man in there. And he said, obviously my dad kicked off. He was like, what's going on? And the bloke went, calm down, I'm the police. So my dad punched him in the face. and he ran away. And then the real police turned up and asked questions and stuff. Yeah. So that was a bad start to the week, but everyone's fine. Obviously, my dad's like fuming. My mum seems totally calm about it because she wasn't in the house, so she's fine. She's like, oh yeah, your dad's really angry. I don't feel bad.
I've got to ask, was he dressed like the police?
So, no, he was dressed. The weird thing is, there was a laptop out and there was an envelope of money for the builders when they next come round. And he didn't touch anything. And he was in there, and he didn't look like... My dad said he was wearing, like, not formal clothes, but, like, expensive clothes, like a quality, like, padded coat, nice shoes. And they don't know why he would have broken in. The only thing, and it's quite sinister, that they can think of is that he's seen my dad's car leave, and he might have seen my dad driving that car before, and he thinks there's a woman in the house on her own. Yeah, I know. Absolutely terrible. So when he's walked in, and then my dad's walked in, he's apparently he was really frightened as well, like shocked, like he didn't expect a man to be in there. Really scary, man. Really awful. So that was a bad start of the week. And make sure you lock your doors, everyone. And then also, last night, About 20, 30 minutes after me and Owen had finished Twitch streaming, police show up at the door. I go out, open the door. The girl from the flat upstairs comes down as well. And they're like, yeah, we've just had a call. Apparently there's someone trying to break in to this building. We were like, well, we've not heard anything. We've not seen anything. And then they said, can we have a look around? They got in the door. One of them got a radio. There was a man and a woman. The policeman got a radio message from someone. I didn't hear what they said. And then he just went, right, cheers. And they just left. Like, they realised it was bollocks so quickly, like so fast. We were like, there's a girl on the 3rd floor if you want to ask her. And they were like, no, it's fine. And they just left. It was totally a prank thing. And I'm just absolutely fuming because we were streaming not long before that. And I'm just like, just not happy. Just not happy at all. Very demotivated, Maffew. Very demotivated, but I'll get through the podcast anyway. Should be all right. Sorry about that big rant there. It's been a shocking week.
It's all right, Jack. If I had a week that shocking, I'd want to vent about the podcast as well. So I'm glad you got it.
I thought I'd get it all out of the way early doors, and then we can talk about the rest.
Exactly. Yeah. Like at this mothers' meeting, we all share our stories and we get over it.
Just absolutely fuming. Yeah.
I bet. I do like the way you delivered that story and goes, well, he said it was the police. So my dad punched him.
Well, he blatantly wasn't the police. But apparently he was wearing a mask. So it's good that he's respecting the rules.
Oh, right, like a COVID mask, not like Richard Nixon.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. Any police-related activities with you, Ross, or have you got away with them?
No, I listened to the police, actually, the other day.
Oh, nice.
A bit of Roxanne. That's as close as I've come to the police. Put on your red light and all that malarkey.
Yeah. I learned something about that song, actually, this week. Because I need to go back and listen to it. Maybe you can know exactly what I'm talking about. Apparently there's a bit at the start where there's some pianos start playing. It's not in sync or in tune or anything. Apparently it's just because the guy in the police just sat down and thought the lid was on the piano and it wasn't. Made a bunch of noises. And he went, oh, whatever. Kept on recording. They liked the sound of it.
Fair enough.
His arse is playing that song.
I did learn a thing about the police. What's the drummer called in the police?
Steve
will do. Steve. He released an album under the name Clark Kent without telling anybody it was him.
Oh.
A solo album released under the, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm very tired today. What's the word I'm looking for? A pseudonym?
Pseudonym?
Yeah, that's the one. Pseudonym. That's not how that song goes, is it?
It's a different song.
Bit of Phil Collins. The pseudonym Clark Kent. I never knew that. I never knew musicians did that.
It's Stuart Copeland.
Stuart Copeland.
Oh. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
You know what? Here's some wrestling news.
Oh, get it.
Yeah, well, of course, the big news this week in AEW. There's a big surprise signing that everyone thought would be in WWE for life. And it is, of course, JD Drake, who made his appearance last week on AEW Dark in the crowd, got signed properly, had a match with Eddie Kingston, they chopped each other's bollocks off. And I hope JD Drake stays for a while, because it'd be great to hear how the Big Show sounds commentating over his matches.
I've seen one of his matches, you know. One.
Was it the one on the network show of Evolve?
Yeah, the Evolve one against, what's his face?
He's good,
Austin.
isn't he?
Austin.
JD Drake. Yeah, Austin, yeah.
Big Austin.
I like
Steve
JD.
Austin.
I like JD Drake's look. He's just a big, hard man.
There needs to be more big, hard men in wrestling. None of this muscular bollocks. Like Cody Rhodes. I laugh about that still. 19 pounds of muscles he's put on. Peter Avalon twists him over in the figure four to reverse it. Muscles mean nothing. Muscles mean nothing, Maffew.
What was it What was it Arn Anderson said? It's all strategically placed muscle or something like that. In that old promo.
Arn Anderson would say that.
Yeah. Need to find that promo where he's got his nice little hat on. It's a sensational look.
Mick Foley tried to congratulate Big Show for joining AEW, but he accidentally tagged Annabelle Ewing, the SNP member for the Cowdenbeath Constantine. I'm saying that. So Foley throwing his sock in. He's officially pro-independence for Scotland. Well done, Foley.
Been talking to Drew, Frida. Oh, God. Low-hanging fruit.
Did he call me? Multiple new WWE signings reported at the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida yesterday.
Is that all we're saying about the Big Show on the podcast? Like the biggest news that's shaking the wrestling world, and we're just going to skip over it, are we?
You'd think it would be big news, but it came out on Wednesday at 1 p.m. our time.
We cover news from the previous 7 days, don't we, in the news section?
Yeah. It is big news, but
I want to get that joke in, to be honest, Ross. You are quite right. What do you think about the Big Show?
I wish that they'd not announced. I wish that everything wasn't announced these days. But I get that it's for like PR and it would make it'll be a big splash and everything. But I just wish he'd walked out on Dynamite. That'd be much cooler.
I think editorializing, but because they're also doing the stuff with Impact showing up unannounced, and then New Japan showing up unannounced. Them doing that, like, wait, they're trying to apply WWE's trying to show up unannounced.
that would be the second big hint after Jim Ross last week.
Oh yeah. The WWE champion. The WWE champion.
Oh, I see. That's good. Because I was getting confused because both Cody and Kenny being quoted as, I'd love to work with WWE. So I thought that's what you were getting at. Like, yeah.
And then Moxley went, there is no way we're ever working with WWE.
Fan service. So, yeah, Big Show, he not only has his commentary license, but his wrestling license, they were keen to say.
Oh.
So it turns out he really is desperate for that match with Shaq.
I hope we get to see it. Why not that? Because to be frank with you lads, I am not interested in the slightest in watching Big Show wrestle anymore. I've seen enough of the Big Show over the past 25 years to get me money's worth. I just think it's like when Patrick Vieira joined Manchester City. I think it's similar vibes to that. New kids on the block want to legitimize themselves. Patrick Vieira past his prime, big name in the door. Everyone takes them seriously. Vieira has a big influence, brings a winner's mentality to the locker room, and then they go on to new heights after that. I think it's just like that.
I'd like to see him wrestle Marco Stunt, Darby Allin, and Shaq, and that would do me. I think that would be good.
I'm just looking forward to what they do with the entrance music, because it could.
Hopefully they don't get the guy who did FTR's music to do it for them. Just make a slightly worse version of the WWE one.
It's big white Paul White.
Yeah,
Paul White.
Or they could go like, ooh, is it the big? Like they can't quite. It's not as definitive.
Go the Big Show.
Oh, it'd be like Apollo. Paul White. dun, 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 dun. Yes, that guy. Yeah, Paul White. Dun, dun. Multiple new signings report at the Performance Center, and this may sound like last week's news, but this is how many people WWE are signing at the minute. And there's even more unconfirmed, so next week might be even longer. AQA, Parker Boudreaux, Christian Casanova, I think some of these were last week, in fact. Gigi Dolan, Anthony Henry, JD Drake's tag partner in Evolve, I know him. Blake Christian, who was wrestling in GCW about 2 months ago, and everyone was going, have a good time at WWE. He's like, shut up, it's not confirmed yet. Cora Jade, Bronson Reichsteiner, of course, Rick Steiner's son. Is it Rick Steiner? Yeah, I think it is. Rick, got the same name. Yeah. Carissa Rivera, Zoe Stark, and Taya Valkyrie.
I mean, Zoe Stark's already.
I think a lot of them were announced last week, but they're signing everybody right now. So
yeah.
If you're a wrestler and fancy your chances, please send a self-addressed envelope to P.O. Box WWE at Titan Towers.
You can see where Big Show's wage packet's going straight away, can't you?
Yeah, that paid for all of them. Well, they made all that money off the Big Show on Netflix, so God knows where that's going.
Will that Amazon now be Prime. Called the White Show or something like that?
Oh my God, that sounds awful.
No, White. Matt Riddle said in an interview that he met Vince McMahon for the first time. Vince McMahon just thought he was a goof when he first met him.
No way.
God knows how he felt that. Don't worry, Riddle. People have other names for you now. R.I.P. Josephus Hudson, a.k.a. the NWA's question mark. Said he passed away just before doing this podcast. To be honest with you, I only know him from the question mark gimmick. It seemed to be very well done and stupidly done. I enjoyed that level of comedy. But I get like a lot of wrestlers nowadays, he's passed away. And the one positive of this is he's passed away, and people are just saying what a great guy he was and what a huge influence he was on the scenes he was in. So, are you guys watching the NWA or?
I saw bits of him. He was a part. I feel like he was really crucial because it was all old school and it was all back to basics. But the best wrestling shows always have variety, and you need some comedy or something. And he fulfilled that role really well. So again, like you, I didn't see him before NWA. I wasn't too familiar with him, but he did a good job, and it is sad.
Yeah. Also, Progress held a show this weekend.
Yeah.
Wow, what a great news section. Go on the next bit.
It's a bit frosty.
You're not allowed to say much.
I don't know. Here at Cultaholic, there's only so much we can say about certain things. We'll be told to, like, don't go too in deep in this, but...
Don't get sued is what we're being told.
Yeah. Don't get sued. Come on. I don't like lawsuits. Let's just say you only get one chance at the second impression, and Progress blew it.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Is that what we're going to say?
Yeah.
But let's not close the news section on that miserable bit. There's another bit. It's a perfect time to be adding this.
What's
It is,
this?
of course, time for the dog wall section.
Okay.
Sent in and printed off on the printer that we didn't break this week. Fantastic. This is from Sean McLew. I've written down here. No name given to this dog. But look at the size of that. And it's a big, beefy
Handsome
one.
dog.
Big, beefy, handsome dog. So all the blue tack will fall off this type of paper, apparently.
Speaking of dogs, by the way, so I've
Go
shared
on.
it in our thing here at work
going
today.
totally.
Someone on Reddit has shared it. It's a 90s game show, I presume in America somewhere. And there's have you seen the chat? Do you see the thing I put in the chat?
Oh my god, the thing with Big Show on it.
Yes.
Yeah,
what was? Do you know what the show was called?
I'll have a look right now. I've got Slack on my laptop.
Maffew, this is game show where they've got this child, this young girl, on the floor, and the presenter pours water into her mouth like to make her mouth like a trough, basically, like a dog bowl. And they have a dog come up to this young girl who's got her mouth open with the water in, and have the dog lick the water out of the girl's mouth.
It's
and the Big
mad.
Show is just Big Show is just sat there. I know he swore there. Big Show is just sat there, just like going like, "What the hell is going on here?"
It's really bad.
One of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
What's it
That
called?
sounds horrible. Thank you, Chris Van Revsvan, for another nameless dog. Please keep on talking about this amazing story.
It was a Nickelodeon show, I think. It doesn't have what the name of the show is though. Gas.
Das,
Gas.
just known as the in Germany. I should put the blue tack on before doing this. It's taking forever. I'm sorry.
Gas. It stands for Games and Sports for Kids. Games and Sports. Gas for kids.
Everyone loves that famous game and or sport, don't they?
They
Gas,
certainly
yeah.
do. Thank
French
you,
kissing with dogs.
Angel Ramos for Stark.
It's a nice dog.
They're all nice dogs, I think. Some radio blokey claims that he was going to be the new Joey Styles.
Oh yeah, that was news as well. Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
And people like, are you kidding? There was a Joey Styles.
I think
Paul
he's
Heyman was just pulling your leg.
As you said, it's like you misheard. You're going to be the next Joey Styles, and just thought he's going to make me play the role of Joey Styles.
Yeah, like Doink the Clown keeps getting replaced. All these knockoff Joey Styles ruining the indies. There's Angel Ramos for another look at Stark. And I'll tell you what, this is taking forever.
Is this going to happen
It's a
every
very
week?
ill thought out segment.
Yeah,
So
I hope
I'll end up with this one, which is the best, well, my favourite. Here's a picture of the dog. And it just says, his name's Lenin. No, not that one. From Sam Glasver. Thank you very much, pal.
Good. It's nice, this.
Yes, I will make sure to blue tack these next time or not do part of the news segment. So Ross and Jack just don't look awkward. This is a bad idea.
You could just stick them on the wall before the podcast. And
Yeah,
go,
that
"Look
might
at
be a
one there."
much better idea, Ross. Sorry about that. Well, what a wonderful new section that was. Let's never repeat the mistakes we made and carry on now. Like so.
Everybody get excited for the Cultaholic Hall of Fame!
From an awkward segment to a beautiful segment, the Hall of Fame. And in condescending order from last week, Flow Rider, Club Can't Handle Me,
It's okay.
7%.
That's fine.
I think you find the club can handle you. Adam Cole, Turning Heel, 18%. That was that weird, rare wrestling choice. Kind of glad that I didn't win, because wiping the sweat off me brow and taking a seat. Big Mama Botch, BMB to a friend, 75%. Thank you, the Cultaholic faithful, for keeping me in the will. And also the good graces of me, beautiful mum who has never done anything wrong in life. Love you very much, Mum. I know you're listening, so I hope you'll be happy to speak to us tomorrow.
I just like, out of all of this, I really like how the best way that she could communicate to you that there'd been a misunderstanding it was by emailing Ross. It wasn't through talking to you.
She doubled down. She spoke to me and she messaged
Right.
Ross. Because it's like,
Right.
nah, you've defamed me. I'm like, oh, Mum.
Yeah.
That's
Please
got to
don't
be
let me
the biggest percentage ever in like the
It might
podcast
be.
Hall of Fame history.
might be.
75%.
It might
That's
be.
like a whole 3/4. That.
You know what? No one correct us. That is the biggest win ever seen in the Hall of Fame. Have you heard that, Mum? Kind of anticlimactic now for this week. How can you follow your mum? I'm going to pick one. That's another wrestler one. I know that's completely obscene. And that's a bit odd. I don't usually pay much attention to what everyone's talking about on Twitter and stuff, but this week, me and my housemate watched Elimination Chamber. More on that to come. And the end of that show, as unexciting as it was The Miz cashing in. And it's almost weird seeing the reaction to this. People aren't saying they dislike it because the bad guy won with the briefcase and the blah, blah, blah. They're saying they don't like it because they don't appreciate the booking or the fact that The Miz hasn't won a match since October of last year. And I'm looking at this going, nah, I'm pretty sure that's his gimmick. That he's a little pain in the backside. That he has his mate do the stuff. So you know what? Just despite some people who I think are overthinking the concept of the wrestling storylines, not because I particularly care, but just despite people, and it's the best way to do things in life, I'm sure we agree, I'm putting The Miz being the new WWE champion in the Hall of Fame just to see their reaction on this very podcast. I'm sure next week I'll look at that and go, what was I bloody thinking? But right now I'm so empowered by seeing this weird reaction. I'm like, you're supposed to dislike this?
Maffew, you might want to read my weekly featured article this week on cultaholic.com, where I talk about this very thing.
Oh,
nice. And there's a lot of Miz
where can
love.
someone find that article, Jack, that I definitely haven't read?
Cultaholic.com, and there's a lot of Miz love in that. So I agree. I think it's a good pick from you there. I like the Miz.
What do you think, Ross?
I also like The Miz, and I also think people who aren't liking this are having the correct reaction, no matter how we get there. He is the heel. We are not supposed to like him being the champion. I think it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's part of the big story, man. It's part of the big... Just let it play out.
Yeah. The bit I don't like is the bit all the build-up with Otis winning it for no reason, Tucker turning heel, Miz cashing in once for no reason. But not this part. This part's not the worst part of the briefcase this year. Not by a long way.
Sorry, who's Tucker?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I do every time. Well, that's nice. That's kind of let the win out the sales because I assumed both of you would be like, Maffew, that's terrible. It's a horrible pick. But don't agree with me. I don't know what to do. But that's fine. We'll move on to who was second last week.
I was first last week.
Yeah, I just realised. Sorry, I've taken your win. I didn't put my mum in because I'm a horrible son. Sorry about that, Ross. You okay, well, you go ahead, mate.
That's my friend BMB you're speaking about there, Maffew. I think you'll find.
Oh, no.
I'll go for Cameron Grimes. Because this week's NXT, his segment in NXT this week was absolutely fantastic. Harking back to $1 Million Man in the old, I'll give you $1,000 for 10 dribbles. I didn't realise just a bounce was a dribble in basketball. I learned something new today.
Well...
Oh.
Sorry, I shouldn't jump in.
Well, you got your basketball rival, haven't you, Jack?
My nemesis, yeah, Dave,
Nemesis,
yeah. I think that a dribble is the continuous until you pick it up again. So I do think that you're right, Ross. I think it's a bit incorrect. But that's
Damn
okay.
that heel for inconsistencies.
Actually, it can maybe it can be both. 2 dribbles. Yeah, no, it can be both. It can be both. He's picked up his dribble, but he's also dribbled it 3 times. It can be both ways. Because
I'll never forget in year 9, we were doing the basketball in PE, and I had no idea about the rules of basketball. I was double dribbling. And people who, is that the correct way to use that in a sentence, double dribbling?
Yeah, you were using 2 hands to bounce it.
No, I was dribbling, stopping, and then dribbling again.
That's also a double dribble, yes.
I was doing that and I was infuriating the one lad in the entire class who actually knew about the basketball rules. I was like, I'm not doing anything wrong, man. Just leave us alone. I'm doing well. He's like, no, you're breaking the rule. And I had a fight. It was fantastic.
It's the second most annoying thing that a basketball noob can do. The first one is travelling, where they just run with the ball like it's rugby.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you want to see good basketball skills, myself and Dom did a Cultaholic
King
Wrestling.
Dom.
Dick
The
and
big Dom.
That's exactly who we are. Dick and Dom, me and Tom did a basketball thing last year. It was flawless in every sense of the word. Anyway, where was I going with this? Yeah, Cameron Grimes was doing $1 Million Man thing. 10 bounces and I'll give you $1,000. I know he said pounds there, but he cut the video off just before $1 Million Man would kick the ball away. That means he would lose some money and he would just go through. And I think he lost £3,000. No, he lost £2,000 by the end of the the segment because the third guy starts doing it like one bounce, whack, you're not going to get finished. I'll smack you. It's just this new gimmick. I don't know how. Apparently, it is real life, isn't it? Oh, has that been disproven by now by somebody? Apparently, it is real life that he invested in one of these game stock thingies or something like that. So I'm happy that real life has bled over into the wrestling ones. It's worked. It's fantastic.
I like how he just assumed it was impossible for someone to dribble a basketball 10 times. The guy does it and he's like, what? I thought that, okay. Then he watches the video, goes up to a woman, goes to kick it away on the 10th one, and she just moves away from it. And he's like, oh, damn it. It's really good. Oh, I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got nothing to add. Good pick.
Sorry, I forgot about the NXT thing with you, Maffew.
That's all right, mate. Jack, what have you got?
I've not gone for a wrestling one this week, surprisingly. Yeah, I know. I've gone for French dance music pioneers and robotic duo Daft Punk.
Oh, right, yeah.
What did you think I was going to say?
I thought something like Daft, some obscure song you'd listened to 10 years ago. But yeah, you're right, Daft Punk have retired.
Daft
Yeah,
Punk.
quite right.
Daft Punk retired last week. I'm generally more into the rock music and the punk rock than I am the dance music, but I can appreciate other genres of music. And yeah, they've got some absolute belters. And it's they've changed the music industry, and it's sad to see them go. And they did a farewell video, and I think one of them got blown up by the other. So it was a bit of a shocking conclusion.
I thought you meant like properly.
No.
That's why they retired.
Because he's a robot, he just sort of went into shards. There was a big puff of smoke, and then he just like shattered like glass. And the other one walked off into the desert. So yeah, it's dramatic.
What's your favourite Daft Punk song?
Oh, that's hard. I think just because of the scenes whenever it came on at the primary school disco. Probably one more time. Just a happy song, isn't it? Great song. But there's various. What's yours?
Probably Robot Rock. Because I associate that song with, stop me if you heard this before, Germany.
Oh,
because that was Bobby Gunn's theme. And that became the match where they uploaded it because the entire crowd chanted Bobby Guns during the entire match.
Probably Guns, Bobby Guns, not Bobby
Guns,
Bobby
Bobby Guns. Yeah, probably. They left no impression on me whatsoever. I can't remember the guy's name. What about you, Ross? Your favourite Daft Punk song?
Forget about Daft Punk. I'm all about Gigi D'Agostino. L'amour toujours, whatever that song's called.
Oh.
Big song. I'm assuming he's French and a man.
So
I know nothing about him. I just know the song.
So because this one song, you've sacked off all of
Daft Punk's back catalogue.
Okay.
Gone.
Everyone was waiting to see what the Scottish comedian Limmy would do because he's got 2 memes on Twitter. Every few months he'll tweet, "Listen to Get Lucky" by Daft Punk. It's going to be the sound of the summer. 8 years after. And you'll also, whenever someone dies, he tweets, "I met so-and-so at a charity do, and they were surprisingly funny and surprisingly down to earth and very funny." So he just said, met Daft Punk once. They were surprisingly down to earth and very funny. But I don't know if he'll do the Get Lucky tweet anymore. Very sad. Daft Punk is my pick. Matthew's Googling something.
I try to remember the name of the other French dance song that I know from the 90s or late 80s.
It's Gigi D'Agostino, isn't it? L'amour toujours.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
No, the one I'm thinking of is a guy's name, and they keep on saying it.
Michel.
No, figure if it was. It's so weird and great.
Oh, Sharona.
No, it's in.
Right.
No, it's Apollo.
Oh,
no, I can't remember what it is. It's going to kill us. I'll find it later on in the segment. We have a break.
Joe Taxi by Vanessa Paradis.
Well, those were the 3 picks for the Hall of Fame. I'm actually surprised that I assumed one of you, especially Ross, was going to go for Kofi Kingston complimenting Randy Orton's calf muscles.
Oh, that was funny.
Standard behaviour, isn't it, with them thighs? Jesus Christ.
I mean, definitely been squatting.
Bonjour.
Ça va. The 3 picks are The Miz being a great W champion, boo the fans, I guess. Daft Punk splitting up.
Cameron Grimes.
Grimes being the $1 million man, the $1 billion man. Who knows?
These are 3 pretty easy ones for Ross to remember for next week for the Patreon.
I write them down every week now
Yeah.
in my special Cultaholic notepad.
Whoa.
Look at the big-time ballers we are now with our own branded notepads. Woohoo!
Doesn't it
Very
feel
good.
nice? Can you stroke the front?
It
on
is. It's
camera?
really nice on the front there. I don't know what it's like, squidgy kind of, like rubbery, but not rubber. Don't know what the material that is. Obviously very expensive.
Well, obviously.
Yeah. Only the
And-
best for us here at Cultaholic.
You know what isn't expensive? Subscribing to us on Patreon so you can vote for one of those 3 fantastic picks at your leisure. But, before next Thursday.
Where can you find the Patreon?
At patreon.com/Cultaholic.
Lovely, thank you very much.
I didn't say / very well there, but no one said nothing, so it's all right.
This is This Week in the Wrestling. It's this bloody week in the wrestling.
This week in wrestling. Start off with SmackDown. Edge opens the show, but is interrupted by Roman. Edge plays mind games and says that Roman knows he needs Edge to pick him. He can see that Roman is starting to crack under the pressure. Sami Zayn interrupts for some reason and is quickly taken out by Jey Uso. Roman whispers something to Edge and then leaves. Oh, what do you think he said to him?
I've heard that Daft Punk are going to break her.
Woof, woof, moo, moo.
He made the noise I make at the start. Apollo Crews says that Big E has never respected him, and now he's coming for what he deserves. Then loses clean to Nakamura.
Yeah, he did lose.
Beautifully put. Apollo attacks Nakamura afterwards. Big E tries to help him, but Crews attacks him with the ring steps before dropping them on him from the ring, and Big E does the stretcher ambulance job combo. The personality change this man has needed for quite some time, I think.
Yeah, I was pleased to see it happen.
Seth Rollins shows up to complain about Cesaro.
I didn't know what else to put. I didn't
Yeah, I
know
know,
what
that's
else
pretty much
to
it,
do.
wasn't it?
I was damning my luck, especially for our predictions that we didn't film them after SmackDown, which we can't do obviously because SmackDown's on a Friday night. Because as soon as Rollins cut that promo, you just knew Cesaro wasn't winning because that was the clear next feud for Cesaro and Rollins, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bastards WWE having Friday night shows these days.
And now Tom's cat is the new Cultaholic Heavyweight Champion.
He is old Pablo.
Pablo.
How's
Pablo's
Owen
a-
taking it?
Pablo's a lovely cat. Pablo's a lovely cat, though.
I
Lovely
wouldn't
fur.
thought you'd have at least the respect of being the cutest man to ever hold that title, but I mean, that cat's just got him. Oh well. Natalya and Tamina beat the Riot Squad.
Yes,
Billy
they
Kay
do.
tries to celebrate with them afterwards and gets laid out.
Can I just say, Tamina looked fantastic in this match. A new lease of life by getting the arms out once again. Couple of hair bobbles in the hair, pinning it back and all that. Like a swinging rock bottom for a finisher now. I forget what that move's called. She looked genuinely fantastic in this matchup and a fully deserved victory. Finally.
One of the best things about wrestling is having your favourites that are going nowhere and just supporting them throughout. And I really enjoy whenever Ross pays attention to Tamina in that way.
She's good at wrestling. What do you say?
Well, I mean, that's an opinion you can have there.
I mean, I just think it's fact. You just look at the
Aye.
being held down by the man for so long. You think back to that karaoke competition last spring, and she got.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone was supposed to get 40 seconds, but what did Tamina get when she sang Triple H's theme? Remember, which has got a long intro with no words. She got I think it was 18. I counted myself before Jey Uso, or was it Jimmy? I forget who it was. Before Ann Uso cut her off, and it's just behaviour like that just keeps knocking her down. But she sticks with it. All credit to her. She's very, very inspirational.
That's good.
I hate it when Ann Uso gets in the way of things.
I forget which one it was. Yeah. You always feel terrible when you say the wrong one, even though there's a clear difference between the two of them.
I think they mess with us, the viewers, by switching between the two, not saying anything. But there's the news that Tamina is at least worth $1. Sorry, it's time for Ding Dong Hello.
What do we think before that? What do you lads think of Ding Dong Hello?
Fantastic, mate.
Yeah.
I think it's a concept that shouldn't work because you'd be a cynical person, as we are in this line of work more often than not. And you think a segment like that, a talk show segment called that, and Bailey involved, you think that can't work, but Bailey makes it work. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't mind it, even though every show has a bleeding talk show, it seems like. And I went, yay, this bit. And they went, my guest, Nia Jax and Shayna Basler. And I skipped. So I'm going to read what happened.
You missed them trying to walk through a door together?
No, I saw that. That was the introduction. All right. I thought they need to defend myself there. Then you laughed. I'm like, oh, I look a bit silly there, don't I? She's fine with them taking the tag titles from her last year because it meant she got rid of Sasha Banks and found herself. That's Bayley. Nia and Shayna run down Sasha and Bianca, and Reginald comes out to defend them. Sasha and Bianca appear themselves, and it all turns into a 6-person tag with Reginald involved as well, getting the intergender. Not only that, but Reginald gets the win, by God, pinning Nia Jax after a double drop kick from his teammate, Rock and Roll Express forever. Later, Reginald finds Carmella backstage, and she's furious, throwing wine into his face like a burglar in Jack's dad's shed.
The burglar was in the house. My dad came out of the shed.
Oh, sorry, the way you were telling this, I thought he's like, let me go check on my shed, and the burglar was in.
No, he came from the shed into the house.
Oh, okay.
Does your dad keep condiments in the shed?
No, he sorts out his eBay. He sells Lego on eBay as a hobby. He knows loads about Lego, and he sorts it in his shed and goes to a car boot sale. Well, not so much anymore, but when there's no car boot sales. But he'll buy some Lego in just a big sack of it, sort it all out, and then sell it on eBay. And he's also a vigilante against burglars, apparently.
I did not expect you to say that sentence, I've got to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's... and he's not even he's not ashamed of it or anything. He's just, it's just what he does. He's got a real job also.
This is for fun. That's very interesting. I didn't know that was a thing.
Well, he makes a bit of money from it as well, because he knows what he's doing, yeah.
Well, you can make that with Lego. You can make anything. You can make a house. You can make...
What's like the most expensive... How do you make more money from Lego, which is the most expensive stuff?
Well, I think he buys it from car boot sales where it's just a sack of just assorted Lego on the cheap. And then he's the one who sorts it into the different little kits and the different little sections and then sells it as a collection. And most of it will just be crap, but then once he separates it all out, it's like going to the beach and digging up a big pile of sand, but there's some coins in there and you sift it all out. But you've got to know, that's why not everyone does it, because you've got to know what's what, and I don't. He does. He knows his Lego.
So if you see on eBay there's 5 kilograms of green cubes, he's the one doing that.
Yeah,
right.
or these are all from the Star Wars set from 1980, whatever, that sort of thing. And
Right.
And
I said when people are looking for spares, they can go on there and get them.
Yeah, he'll also... I think he sells them in a batch. But yeah, anyway, he doesn't just do that. He'll stick the football on the radio. He's not all weird. He's normal bloke on the surface, just hiding a dark Lego-y secret, which I've now revealed publicly. So there you go.
Jack, are beginning to make more sense as a human being, I've got to say.
No, I avoided all of the autistic genes in the family. They went to my brother from my dad's weird Lego habits, I assume. I'm allowed to make jokes like that. That's fine. Don't worry. Don't worry about it.
I'm allowed.
I'm allowed. It's fine. But I think that was a more wholesome answer than perhaps you were expecting of what my dad does in his shed.
Yeah, I was just making a Friday night dinner reference because I've never seen that before anywhere ever. Martin on there keeps his condiments in the shed. Right.
My dad keeps Lego.
This sounds like a great Would I Lie to You episode. But you know what, Jack? I believe you, because it sounds great.
When I was off that week, I spent at least 2 hours just straight watching Bob Mortimer clips on that show. He is unbelievable on that programme.
He is so good.
Rips an apple in half.
He can't do that with his bare hand.
What was it? Chris de Burgh ran him a bath.
He did that bit on Nevermind the Buzzcocks where they have to say the title of a song without using any of the words in the song title. They've got to say the song title in different ways, and he was fantastic at it. It was like Wannabe by the Spice Girls. So he was like, I desire a single unit of honey production. Perhaps there's a fuzzy insect that could be ideal for these purposes. And it was Wannabe. He wants a bee. So, and then he gets one, he just goes, pink, spotty, yellow, twat. And they're like, Mr. Blobby. He's like, yes. SmackDown. Sorry, lads.
Yeah, anyway, with SmackDown, the Mysterios face Otis and Gable. Gable gets DQ'd when he refuses to leave the ring as the illegal man. It's weird. I mean, it wasn't. You're supposed to have 5 seconds. Anyway, Gable directs Otis in a beatdown of Ray afterwards. How on earth is Otis heel?
Why
have they done this? I can't believe you've done this.
I can't believe they've turned Otis heel.
I wasn't expecting it, but I'm gonna say, whenever someone beats up Ray, it's a good look, especially when the size of Otis. So
I was shocked that they went full heel with Otis because, you know, they can dictate who is a heel and who is a babyface now with the crowd reaction. And when Otis was doing his things, it was all boos. It wasn't just like, cause since the start, Gable's been the heel, hasn't he? And Otis has just been stupid because he's fat and that's how it works in wrestling. So now Otis is a full-on heel, and he did look scary when he was screaming, so at least he's got that going for him. But it is weird, isn't it? A weird timeline.
Yeah. It's the Of Mice and Men storyline. So time to stroke Rey Mysterio next week. Yeah. The main event is a 6-man tag between the entrants in the Elimination Chamber match. Bryan gets a win for his team, submitting Sami Zayn. Everyone hits finishers. Edge runs in to spear Jey Uso. Roman comes along and spears Edge to close the show. Blah, blah, blah. Elimination Chamber palaver, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder if that's got anything to do with, because we never found out, even after Elimination Chamber, what Roman whispered to Edge.
I reckon we'll find out this week on SmackDown. I reckon that's why Edge waited 2 whole days to spear him back, like properly at Elimination Chamber. Can I plug my column thing?
Yeah.
So I did one about last week's SmackDown. It's on Cultaholic.com right now. You have to scroll down a bit on the features tab, but it's there because they've redefined what Ultimate Opportunist is, but they've made it work. That's all I'll say. If you want me to say more, I will do, but that's enough time taken up by that bollocks.
It'd be great. Yeah, you just read the entire article here on the podcast and then count that as a hit. Elimination Chamber, Sunday. On the pre-show, Morrison wins a fatal 4-way against Ali, Elias, and Ricochet. He goes on to replace Keith Lee in the US title match later on. Right now, they're saying he's injured. It is also known that his fiance, I think they were about fiance, got COVID or was... No, sorry, before we get sued or anything, it was possibly in contact with COVID, COVID symptoms, etc. We're not allegedly, maybe. You know what? I made it up. That never happened. Lawsuits are expensive. Daniel Bryan wins the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match, last eliminating Jey Uso. Roman comes out immediately and beats him to retain the Universal title. I think we all predicted that, right? Well, I certainly was hoping for it.
I didn't think it would be Bryan.
No.
But Roman was always keeping it, yeah.
Yeah. Then Edge attacks Roman afterwards and points at the sign, which then explodes. You little wizard, you.
It's a good job they had that surprise sign pointing pyro on hand.
Yeah.
It was. I tell you what, I thought it was a very good. And we're all upset that Cesaro didn't win, I presume, but it was a very good chamber match. I thought everyone was really good. Sami Zayn was hilarious. Corbin looked like they need to get that King gimmick off him because he can be so much more. He was kicking everyone in the face and looking gnarly while doing so. Owens was stunning everybody. Jey Uso, his part in Cesaro's elimination was fantastic. Cesaro himself was taking the piss. I just thought it was a great match, me.
It was a good match.
I was trying to enjoy it until, I'll tell you this, my housemate was watching it and he watches it for the women's wrestling. He's not really bothered about the men. So he was gutted to find out there was the women's Elimination Chamber match. But then he saw Baron Corbin walking down and he went, why does he look like a big jacked up Colin Mockery from Whose Line Is It Anyway? I went, which one's he? And Google went, oh, God, he is like. So yeah, this was as good as Elimination Chamber is going to be with the threadbare story that they were given. They worked hard. They busted themselves. Sami Zayn, the MVP, got Kevin Owens to say you talk too much. So yeah, did what they could, what they had, and then Roman Reigns came in for the rest of it. Did feel a bit of a waste of time afterwards, but we.
I thought they did a good job building up Kevin Owens as the winner, and then going no. But as Ross mentioned, it would have been better without that Rollins promo on Cesaro to make it a bit obvious that he wasn't winning.
Right. The second match, Riddle pins Morrison to win the US title from Lashley. He uses MVP's crutch in the process, but there are no DQs in a triple threat. And says in brackets, why don't people take advantage of that more? It's a good point, Jack, well made. So, if this was always the plan, were they really going to have Riddle beat Keith Lee in this match? That sounds crazy.
I like to think that it wasn't the plan.
It can't have been the plan. This finish to the match makes no sense. How can MVP, a businessman, stand there and do nout? But Riddle, who, beyond any shadow of any doubt, is just a massive idiot. He realises, I can't use that crutch. I'll use it where you don't, MVP. It just...
Didn't Morrison bring it into the ring? Morrison went out the ring and was arguing with MVP. took it from him, and then I think dropped it because Lashley turned around and attacked him, and then Riddle just sort of saw it. I think.
Even still.
Well, yeah, even so. Yeah, even so.
It's weird because on one hand, I like it as being part of Operation Let's Just Push Lashley, which I'm like, yes, and more of that later on. But the other thing is, Riddle's got the US title now. He does have a proper lawsuit against him. Like, it is amazing that WWE are like just pretending it's not there. It is there. He couldn't get it dismissed. We can say that. Like, no. But like, it is crazy that he's just, he's the US champion. It's like, but whatever.
Yeah, it is surprising. I'm surprised as well because, well, he lost to Lashley. This isn't as important or as serious, but in kayfabe terms, he lost to Lashley loads in the build-up.
No, Lashley beat the hell out of him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, yeah, then he did beat him. You're right, because he tried to tap and then... Yeah, you're right. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He can have that belt. It's fine. Lashley doesn't need it anymore. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler retain the tag titles against Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair after Reginald tries to help and accidentally distracts Sasha like the clumsy waiter in some sort of crap British film from the 80s. I like Shayna Baszler. I like Sasha Banks. I like Bianca Belair. Okay. This match was rough in certain bits. There was just some awful bits, like Nia's press slamming Sasha, and then Bianca comes in and she's like, "Oh no, don't throw her on me." But there's a few seconds where Jax is like, "You come closer?" No? All right. And it just looked rough. So
I don't like the booking either because the champion of SmackDown has just been pinned by a woman who got pinned by Reginald 2 days before. So I don't think that's brilliant.
What's that said about Reginald, Jack? What are you saying about Reginald?
Saying he's not a credible threat to actual wrestlers. I'm sorry.
You can't have watched that match with Sasha Banks from start to finish. He blew my socks off, so he did.
I'm not saying he's a nimble man. He's elusive, but it doesn't matter.
I just don't like this. Why does every women's tag team have to be like, oh, how could they possibly get along in this situation? Why doesn't he be that every single time?
Because Vince doesn't know how to book women without them either arguing or being like how Lana and Natalia, was it? How they were like, social media, hee, look at us, we're cool. It's one or the other, and it's crap.
Yeah.
Booker T said one time on the pre-show on WrestleMania, like, well, women just inherently hate one another. And I genuinely think that's WWE how they actually think women are. Like,
in the 2010 Royal Rumble, when Beth Phoenix eliminates Great Khali by kissing him and dragging him over the top rope, Matt Stryker on commentary, never trust a woman.
What is it? So, when Spike Dudley's calling out Stone Cold and Heyman's on the mic, he just goes, "Women weaken minds."
It's like Mickey and Rocky One.
I was going to say, the Rocky discussion again. Where we at? Oh, the Raw Women's title match doesn't happen.
Aye.
So people are going, oh, she is actually pregnant then. And people are like, no, but people are saying she isn't pregnant. Like,
no,
as far as we know now, she is pregnant, right?
I was just surprised there was no replacement opponent for Asuka. Asuka just wasn't on the show.
Rhea Ripley must have been busy. How do you not do that? How do you not have her come in and just win and make a big statement and make a new star and just do what you should have done last year? It was all there. All the places were there. Just do it.
The only reason I can think of is that they are so set on Charlotte winning the belt at Mania, but they can't have her beat Rhea for 2 years in a row. Maybe that's why.
It's a good point, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Asuka was in the building, but she was just inherently not getting along with all the women backstage. And they couldn't just walking around causing arguments. It was a big mess. And then the main event, Drew McIntyre wins the Raw Elimination Chamber match, but is attacked by Bobby Lashley afterwards. As we saw secret CCTV footage of Lashley talking with The Miz and Morrison backstage. It's all part of a deal.
I think it was MVP talking to The Miz.
Was it just MVP? Okay.
MVP,
The Hood business. We're talking... And it's all part of a deal with The Miz, who cashes in and becomes WWE champion. Great having both champions come out after the chamber matches and get attacked to have somebody else in the same show. Just saying, this chamber match, I'm sure it was good. I'm sure they ticked all the boxes, but having such a similar match on the same show as another very similar match, me and my housemate switched off, and we instead just tried. I'm not sure you appreciate this or not, Jack. we just try to name as many new metal mid-card bands, i.e. bands who maybe had one hit and then that was it, as possible.
I would be able to appreciate that, but not with the genre of new metal. I'm not too familiar with new metal.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Oh.
Limp Bizkit, they're not a mid-card.
See, yeah, they're a main event. They're a WrestleMania.
Yeah.
WrestleMania's favourite band, remember? We've crack at it. There's been a few. It's probably actually, if you name or just go back and watch any of the 2000, 2001, 2002 era WWE pay-per-view intros, it's probably a band.
Yeah.
Playing there. Anyway, that clearly is not going to work, so I'll move on. What did you think of this, Jack, this match?
I thought that it was a lot slower than the opening Elimination Chamber match, and that it suffered from being the second one on the show, like you said. But I think if the SmackDown one had been second, it would have maybe held its own a little bit better, because it was just more exciting.
I agree. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of things that actually happened during the match. I've gone completely blank as I'm sat here.
Well,
Kofi's elimination of Randy was good. I remember that, but that is about it in terms of stuff I remember. The shock elimination of Sheamus. That was another one. That was a bit weird, wasn't it? How it was AJ Styles that got rid of him after. Oh, that annoyed me though. He botched the 450 that we all saw, and he just went up and did it again, seamlessly perfect. I hate people like that. If that was me, if that was me botching the 450, right, and I went go back and try it, I would botch it again and repeat it 10 more times. But yeah, that was a bit weird how that happened, the way that unfolded, I guess. But yeah, it was SmackDown's Chamber match was comfortably the better one, I thought.
Well, Ross, AJ's first one was a dribble. The second one was a double dribble. So it's funny you say that, because I didn't think he botched it. I thought he just went, that one wasn't good enough. I'll do the 450.
He landed like on his back, didn't he? Just like a senton, but like
yeah.
At least the first one, at least it looked like a move. Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, it wasn't like he shockmastered himself out, but
it's just when you see them go back and do it again straight away, he wasn't meant to do that, was he? That's what I take from wrestling anyway.
Well, you are the expert, so I should probably listen to you more.
No one here at Cultaholic's an expert. Nobody.
They think we are.
Very keen to stress that. Other YouTube channels think they are. We're not.
Yeah.
Jack's the son of a Lego expert, but not a wrestler. So.
Anyway, my new series will be continuing where I talk and break down why wrestlers are good this week. But I don't think I'm an expert. It's just my opinion.
Yeah. Just a theory. A game theory. No. And then The Miz did his thing. And blah, blah, blah. I think with Elimination Chamber, every year, WWE does a good job of having all the people in the match come out and have something interesting to build up to the pay-per-view or super shows it is. So it almost feels anticlimactic when it happens, because in your head you're like, oh, okay, well, Sheamus has been kicking ass recently. He's had the feud with Drew. The Hurt Business could interrupt or do stuff. AJ's got his big lad there to break the plexiglass.
Oh yeah, that happened.
Then we have I have my photo frames in my house that aren't that hard to come out, just saying. And all these other things could happen, and then it kind of like, and they go with something like, oh, all right. It's like, it's more, sometimes the interest and build-up is more interesting than the actual thing they deliver on.
Yeah. One good little thing was Kofi still checks behind him when he comes out for the chamber because of Edge all those years ago.
And they should have done it with Ali, shouldn't they? After Mustafa Ali lost on that kickoff show, it was there.
Yeah.
They should have done it. Have a set of balls, Vince McMahon, for goodness sake.
Die.
You're right. Monday Night Raw. The Miz opens the show alongside Morrison with a special championship celebration edition of Miz TV. He says he is greater than all the former greats, and then he says Batista, Cena, Bryan, Lashley, and even Edge, and also Big Show.
Yeah, but he didn't say it in that order, though.
He didn't. I thought I did on Big Show for funny effect.
But it would have been brilliant if he did, yeah.
And even redacted. Lashley interrupts with MVP, and he wants the promised title shot. Miz says he doesn't know when because he's too busy. Lashley gives him an ultimatum, grant him a title shot or get beaten up and sent to the emergency room. And always getting beat up either way. So if I was the Miz, I'll probably choose the one where I get at least to get my title. And then he has 1 hour. So I think it's a pretty alright way of keeping people interested and having nothing happening.
Yeah, but they had a ready-made countdown. They're like, Lashley's ultimatum.
Yeah, right. I mean, look, you can't watch WWE and not go, okay, this is control. What, with Edge pointing and making signs explode and... stop, lads, here comes Reginald with the... Oh, no, you've thrown this into the ring, and now I'm El Distracto, as they say in Mexico. Yeah, it's a lot of contrived stuff in WWE. I thought Lashley was great here. Just being angry and mad and like, yeah, I want my title shot. Like Davey Boy Smith in 99, but with less bin throwing.
He said awesome in his funny voice as well. Like The Miz, yeah.
And I like that Ross reminded us all this week that Lashley used to have those contact lenses in his eyes. Well, he put contact lenses, sorry.
Didn't he?
Yes.
That match was against the Demon Balor at WrestleMania 35. And somehow, Bobby Lashley just putting a set of contacts in looks a hell of a lot more scary than Finn Balor as a demon.
Was that just for Finn Balor then? Like, oh, well, if Finn's going to dress up, I'm going to put contact lenses in.
Yeah.
Oh.
Finn's backstage for 3 hours getting painted up. Lashley's like, oh.
Yeah.
And he drops one. He's like, oh, God.
Riddle is just so annoying backstage with the Lucha House Party before beating John Morrison.
Yeah, he
That's
was.
right. Go on, check your top order.
He was buzzing about winning the belt. Then they said they were confused by him, as always. And then they were like, hang on, you've got a match now, but it's all the way over the other side of the building. And he's like, don't worry, bros. And then he got on a scooter and scooted away. That's the US champion there.
I'm waiting for the Lucha House Party just to do a segment where they pretend they can't speak English.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've had enough of you. No, Espanol. No. No, I talked to you last week, dude. No. No, s'il vous plaît. New Day beat Retribution in a tag match. Ali rips into his group afterwards saying he's sick of carrying them. He should be.
I hope it's the end. I hope it's the end. Because, like, you look at Rumble where Omos was eliminating... who was it? Big E, wasn't it? He pulled over the top rope and was doing AJ style stuff for him. Mustafa Ali was in that Rumble match as well. Retribution weren't there, so they look like idiots. The four-way match, they could have got involved there, but they just stood at ringside and broke up a couple of pinfalls, and that was it. Looked stupid again. I get, like, we all know how stupid the masks are and the names are and whatnot, but if you're going to make them look like in what they do as well, what's the point, eh? Just get rid. What's the point? They're all a lot better than that, aren't they? Surely.
Yeah.
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 Come on. Yeah. Viva Revolution. Have that one.
It's been an hour. Lashley and Miz are in the ring with Adam Pearce because it's time for Miz to make a decision. He still doesn't grant Lashley a title match, saying he needs a week to decide. Lashley is angry, but before he could do anything, here comes fun. Oh, it's Braun Strowman. He again demands a title shot from Pearce, blaming Shane McMahon once again, who immediately makes his entrance as if it was needed. It's Shane McMahon. Sweaty Shane gets thunderous piped in cheers and refuses to give Braun a title shot.
They were thunderous as well, weren't they? Louder than anybody else's cheers because that's what would have...
Shane back.
After 2019, 2018, Raw Underground, that's the reaction he would have got if real humans were in the building.
It's like, and the soundboard, it just says MP3 of when Austin returned in the Raw 99. Yeah! He again demands a title shot. He messed up his line, but who cares? He says
to Braun, hey now, Braun, you can't just come down here and ask for a championship match and get it. Not like Goldberg did or Paul Wight did at WrestleMania 36 or other people have done over the past year. There was I forget what everything is, but it felt like every sentence Shane said, there was always evidence to prove he was just talking out of his arse.
And do you know what he said as well? And I mentioned this to you on the news, Ross, that I hated. He just at the start of the promo, couldn't resist. Just went, Adam Pearce, you need to run a bit of a tighter ship here. Get in the bin.
Yeah.
The McMahons do this with everyone. They can't help themselves.
And I said back to you in that news video, Jack just and Maffew knows it, because I know he doesn't watch the news.
No.
Baron Corbin back in the day. Remember that one, Maffew? 2018 when they blamed Raw's low ratings on Baron Corbin. Or Constable Corbin as he was back then, obviously.
Oh my God.
Eric Bischoff getting put in the bin.
Well,
yeah. What else? There was another line he said on Raw this week. It's just so much that he said. It does piss you off. But
it's just to build up. Well, there's only one thing for it: the return of Big Steph.
Oh no! I was going to say this is going to be a match at Mania, Shane and Braun, and I cannot wait. No! I'm excited for that. That's a good matchup.
Oh, you're right. One toilet break needed. You're right. Good point.
No, that's well in Shane's wheelhouse. Wrestling a big lad. He loves that.
Which way will he go? If they do that kind of stuff and have Shane lose after taking a few big bumps, like, remember those halcyon days back in the early 2000s when that what Shane McMahon was? And I used to love watching Shane McMahon back in the day until he became a serious wrestler, because that's what happens when is he over 50 now?
Oh, he must be.
I know age is just a number, but I'm not in wrestling.
He's sorting Lego in his shed.
He's over 50. Oh, he's got a world title shot in there, hasn't he?
He's 51.
Hey, don't say that, Maffew, because Braun Strowman's more clarified.
That was it. I forgot what the word is. He messed up.
Clarified.
Yes, even I'm making fun of you saying the wrong word. Ha ha. Well, don't worry. Here comes the bus pass. Says that no, he's not going to give him one. But Braun says, "All right, I'll have a match with Lashley then." He goes, "All right, that's fine. If Braun wins next week, Miz will defend it against both of them." Shane leaves and Lashley takes out Braun's leg from behind like a sensible person. And I am still waiting to see. I'm wondering about cash in. I thought we were going to see it this time, to be honest with you. When I need help. I'll give you the first title shot. All right, no problem. And then, Miz is cashing in after Bobby Lashley attacked his opponent. Yay. Bell rings, ding, ding. And then Lashley just comes in and smacks him for the DQ. And that's it. Still waiting for that to happen. Cedric and Shelton beat the Lucha House Party in a tornado tag match. They're on the same page. Nice reset for Hurt Business.
Oh, the finish they did, the sequence. Oh, kicks and knees and flippy-doos and all kinds of stuff.
It was a weird random tornado tag, though. Just a random stipulation. They never have tornado tags anymore.
I think because they've wrestled them quite a bit, they needed something to spice it up.
Byron, I think it was, who forgot on commentary. He was like, "Oh, he's the illegal man." And then they were like, no, Byron, no. There's no illegal men. Well, never mind.
I think they were Baron Saxton, to be honest with you.
Baron Saxton.
Bad Bunny is hanging out with Damian Priest. That is Saturday Night Live Illumini. Damian Priest. Illumini, Christ.
Yes.
I just tried to say that. They catch R-Truth about doing the 24/7 title. Bad Bunny then accompanies Priest to his match with Angel Garza. I can't go over the fact that I've said Illumini right there. There's nothing matters now, really. No one's paying attention.
Who's Angel Cruz? All right, now.
I know. Angel Garza. Priest wins after Garza distracts himself talking trash to Bad Bunny.
Yeah. Garza looked silly here, and Garza is he deserves so much more. He's really. I'm such a huge fan.
At least it wasn't like a complete squash match, which was what I was expecting, just based off how they haven't used Angel Garza at all since the autumn, have they? Really?
The last thing that I can remember him doing is trying to get with that blonde interview lady and then leaving her when Retribution invaded and just leaving her to the wolves and running away. It was
The Bachelor, wasn't it, that program? She wasn't like an interviewer. She was an actress,
she was like a celebrity, a celebrity guest. Okay.
No idea who she was though.
Didn't he do a bit as well where same thing, here's a rose for you, and then she went, in that room there, I'll see you, and you open the door, and it was the boogeyman who was there to lie about his age. Or whatever.
It was on Veterans, what's it called?
Veterans Day.
Raw Veterans
Yeah, you know what,
Day.
call it that. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. The last appearance of the Big Show as well. Mm-hmm. When Randy Orton killed him.
Yes.
That was strange. Wondered how Randy was like, "You're not going to do it, are you, Big Show?" And Big Show literally did. No, that was, that's sad, isn't it? The way
That's not true, I can leave. Randy Orton cuts a backstage promo talking about last week's satanic scene. I don't know what they're calling it now. When Russo said it's not a symbol, bro, when they tied up Austin to that anyway. And Randy Orton, remembering that, vomited black stuff. Like Ultimate Warrior in his feud with Papa Shango all those years ago. Available now on the WWE Network. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the essence of the Fiend. It's inside Randy Orton, like it's inside Alexa Bliss, and it's coming out now. So expect to see Randy Orton do some things normal Randy Orton would never dream of doing, because the Fiend is controlling him from within. I wonder what Randy Orton's gothic version. Like Alexa Bliss has got the one where her hairstyle changes a bit and she's got black lipstick on and all that stuff. What's Randy Orton's goth version going to be like?
Well, Randy was in the Wyatt family. That's not really goth though, is it? That's just, yeah.
You just have a gothic sleeveless hoodie. Slipknot logo on or something.
No, he'll have sleeves on it this time. He'll have a sleeved hoodie with a thumb hole that he's made himself in the wrist. And you just put that through. Yeah.
No, I like the idea of him coming out with a cut-off In Me shirt. All the vines. There you go, segue that other segment. That's right. That's right. I've always been a fan of Pitch Shifter, says Randy Orton. And then it feels like we're on about. By the way, this is the exact moment of the show when my mum stops listening to the podcast.
Is it?
Okay.
Probably after just listen to you go, the essence of the Fiend is in Randy Orton. Mum's like, I've had enough of this. Asuka and Charlotte Flair take on Nia Jax and Shayna Basler. Nia pins Asuka after Charlotte accidentally kicks her in the face, but more importantly, after Shayna Basler kicks her right in the face. That was a horrible, horrible kick there, surprisingly from Shayna.
Shira.
That's what I was thinking. That needed someone yelling something.
Oh, it was just like Neil Lennon, right in the face. Aye. I'll make the obvious joke, lads. A Nia Jax match, and she wasn't the one doing the injuring.
Wait.
Thank you for taking one for the team there, Ross. Nia pins her. Charlotte blames Asuka for this.
Yeah, she does. She's on the apron like, oh, mate, what are you doing? Which is even worse because Charlotte broke up a pinfall or something, grabbed Shayna, threw her out the ring, went out after her, and left Asuka, who was on the floor, on the canvas, as just at the mercy of Nia. Deary me.
Charlotte's yelling there, and Asuka's going, have you seen me teeth?
It gets worse. It gets worse with Charlotte.
I was going to say, wait, Ross. Later backstage, Charlotte also blames her dad.
Aye.
Babyface of the year. Rick says that he genuinely saw potential Lacey Evans and didn't want to cause harm to Charlotte, which is a blatant contradiction of this entire storyline so far. Charlotte tells him to go home and let her prove her greatness.
Here, the Flairs are all full of crap. The Flairs are all...
Just let Charlotte Flair be Charlotte Flair, Rick. Get out. Stop stealing my spotlight, she said to Ric Flair while she's... I think I made a list the other day in my video where she's out there with her remix of Ric Flair's theme and her knockoff Ric Flair ring walk jacket and her woo and her figure four but slightly different and her thing where she goes over the top rope like Ric Flair does in the corner. Any more? The helicopter,
the
exit
chops.
to WrestleMania, yeah, the chops, the strut. I hope this is just a sign that Charlotte Flair is going to appear next week or something like that and just have a completely restart maybe just in terms of a gimmick and just has her own stuff for everything, because otherwise that promo makes no sense whatsoever.
You're right, Ross. She's going to ditch all of that. She's no longer live on nostalgia of her dad. She could be her own woman. And next week she could come out as Charlotte Slaughter.
Oh, that's fair. I thought she was going to come out, I was going to say, with a Komodo dragon on her arm, beat Charlotte the Dragon Steamboat. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. The
Charlotte
one thing
Slaughter,
stronger than a
Slaughter.
Flair is a steamboat. That's even better than mine. Thank you.
But Charlotte Slaughter sounds better, though. That's brilliant.
I just like the name Charlotte Slaughter. She comes out saluting the flag. It's like, what? Sheamus beats Jeff Hardy. Lana and Naomi beat Mandy. Oh, that's it. Must have been a good match.
There was a few really quite short matches all ran together, so I just kind of summed them up.
Yeah, that's fair enough then. Lana and Naomi beat Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. AJ Styles beats Ricochet and almost slams Ricochet afterwards. It's like when the great Carl Lee was doing that to Scotty Goldman back in the day. It was 2 minutes, this match? Maybe three?
It was quick, wasn't it?
It wasn't long.
It was weird how they had Sheamus and Jeff, they had AJ and Ricochet. I'm sure there was a couple more where they just had old feuds from a year ago or so, or last summer maybe, just put them in random matches on this week's Raw. It was a bit strange how they did that so often.
Yeah. Well, this gave Ricochet plenty of time to go to another party. Bobby Lashley beats Braun Strowman in the main event, which was a bit of a surprise because as soon as bloody big baldy Braun came out, I thought, that's the end of this lovely Lashley push we're enjoying so much. It was a nice 24 hours while it lasted. Nah, Lashley beat him and made him look daft in the process. Miz tries to attack him afterwards, but Lashley gets the better of him and stands tall to end the show. Miz holding his bollocks, Lashley holding the title. Get in.
Lashley looked great, yeah. Really good. Clean win over Strowman.
You know what you could hear? If you put your volume up enough, went up the TV and put your ear by it, you could hear Lashley, Lashley.
Shenanigans next week, I'm telling you. Fastlane, Bobby wins it. That's what's happening, isn't it?
Do you think there'll be a DQ? Did Miz will run away next week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe Drew gets involved since he wasn't seeing it all this week.
What if Miz keeps on making deals with people? He's like, look, Drew, I'll give you first shot if you take care of Lashley. He just keeps on doing that. He's just got all these loans of wrestlers. He's got this long list with him going, who am I defending? Who do I want to
that would be good.
Yeah, I'd love it if that happened. AEW Dynamite. A.k.a. the show we have to like because we're paid to like it, obviously.
No, we're not, though. Oh, my God, Matthew.
Well, of course, sorry if I say it on the podcast, it must be true.
There is somebody, though, all credit to whoever it is and who keeps sending us like the PayPal receipts into the mailbag. I put one on Twitter a while ago.
Is that a real thing?
I sent one to Jack when he claimed my TK nickname was misplaced because I was like, no, look, he signs it off like that on the PayPal. Thanks for the kind words or something like that. TK, something like that. I forget what it was. But someone's going to the effort of making fake £5 PayPal receipts to Cultaholic Wrestling from TK.
Totally can't. It just adds a bit of structure to the week, you know? We got the fake... Yeah, excellent stuff.
Yeah. There's actually, there's actually a remote bomb here, practice for the match that happened at Revolution, fully enough, where if we don't say enough good things about it, it explodes. So all we're saying is, watch this podcast, don't blink. John Moxley beats Ryan Nemeth very quickly, good. Afterwards, he cuts a promo hyping the exploding barbed wire death match. If it's the match that ends his career, he thinks it's a hell of a way to go out. Whoa, made me giddy.
That was a good promo.
Almost as much as the announcement via Excalibur, saying not only is going to be barbed wire in the ropes or around the ropes, doesn't matter, but landmines on the outside. It's not just exploding barbed wire, lads. It's going to be double hell as well.
Oh.
Yes.
Was he just teasing potential death just to hype the match up, or was he maybe hitting at something a bit more sinister, Maffew, like leaving AEW or something like that?
Oh.
Because he said that he's like, if this is the last one, it's one hell of a way to go out. There was another quote. There was two different quotes I mentioned in the video just before there. I was like, yeah, there's hyping up the match, and there's maybe hinting that there's something more sinister to come, maybe like a spell in New Japan or something like that away from AEW. I don't know.
Well, that would make sense because he's been the champion. He's had a long run. Once he presumably loses this rematch, what does he do then?
Yeah, so maybe he's going to explode and then disappear for 6 months or something. Go on excursion.
Wait.
Gap year.
Are you saying that like after the match he just goes up, puts himself through the barbed wire, there's an explosion, and he's gone?
Yeah.
No.
Marty Jannetty floats up to the...
Oh no. We later see Omega and Callis in a workshop building the ring, and it says, I think
it was the ring, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like the Moxley Killer or Chaos 2. One or the other.
Kenny just, his welding ability is just hammering one bit of metal again and again really hard. I found it quite funny.
Marvez, the Undertaker, wasn't it?
Yeah. Marvez as well.
He's my favourite character in professional wrestling at the minute.
So brilliant.
Brian Cage and Ricky Starks beat the Varsity Blondes. After the match, Sting drags a body bag out on the stage. Oh, that's nice. It must be Darby Allin. Oh no, it's Hook.
I was shocked. That was sinister. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, Taz swears, says the S word, but then doesn't come to the kid's defense. Just saying.
Oh, he did want Sting.
What a poo house, eh? Wait till Sting walked away. Eh?
Yeah,
but I think he was scared by Darby Allin ziplining down from the rafters. Wow, what a ride.
What a ride.
And beats up Team Taz with his skateboard. Sting hits a few signature moves on Brian Cage as Taz checks on Hook. Okay, it's all silly bollocks and it fits the scene and everything, and Darby Allin's a skater boy, he's not a see you later boy, and all the rest. But it is kind of funny that it's like, Sting's here, he's not dead after taking one bump last week. Like, they didn't put him through anything gimmicky and like break his legs, and it's a miracle he's here. He took one move. It's kind of funny. He's like, well, I can't for the street fight.
Well, we've had 5 years of reading like, oh, Sting takes one more bump, his neck's going to fall off or something like that. So they're capitalising on that, aren't they? I just love that sequence of events where you had the package where Darby was taking his punishment from Team Taz, turning it into some sort of pleasurable, kinky experience with his pal Sting, having a bit of fun in a body bag. And then you got Taz's son in a body bag. In comes Darby on the zip wire. I was just thinking, like, imagine if you weren't a fan of AEW and weren't like... didn't know what the storyline was between Team Taz and Sting and Darby, just watching that unfold. Wrestling's like, now what else is it?
You're quite right, Ross. Well said. Jake Hager beats Brandon Cutler, and boy, did he ever. Then Wardlow, Santana Ortiz come out and beat him down afterwards, which brings out the Young Bucks to chase... Wait, I remember what happens here. Sorry.
It's the best thing.
It's all a ruse, because earlier, the Young Bucks have been showing their dad who said last week, if you don't know what the Young Bucks dad looks like, just get a pen and draw what you think he looks like, and it's him. He was showing him, wow, look, Dad, we have our faces and bodies on the back of these big trucks. Wow, that's awesome, sons. Because, they're so likable, because every single week, these two lads have to tell you how expensive and successful they are, and we can obviously relate to that, can't we, Ross and Jack?
Yes.
They didn't even do it in a likable way. They could have easily, with their parents with them, made it likable and been like, "Oh my God, look at that!" But instead, they're like, "Yeah, that's just our truck with us on it. Whatever. Do you want a picture, Dad? Yeah, go on then. Right, let's go.
Take it, Mom. You're not allowed in the picture."
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a ruse. The Tron shows Jericho and MJF with a bloodied Papa Buck. He was covered in the red stuff. And then the Buck's like, oh no, our dad's getting killed. And then they run. And then, I'm sure this wasn't intentional, but when they go, and then they cut to the camera that's showing them the light jog.
They've got a jog on. They've certainly got a jog on.
Weren't even breaking a sweat.
We're like, when you do like any kind of sporting training or whatever, like football or whatever, and the coach has sent you off in little groups all around the pitch to do like little five-a-side drills and stuff, then the coach is like, it's the end of the drill, right lads, come on, jog it in, and everyone has a little bit of a jog back to the coach. That's the speed and the intensity of the Bucks. Where's Dad? Is he over there?
It's the jog you do when you run for the bus and you see that it's already stopped, so you're like, I'm slowing down then. I'm busting a gut for this. Oh, God. So, yeah, clearly you're really good about the dad. Dad, we'll be there in a minute. Like, literally.
I love it. They should have passed like a hot dog stand and just be, oh, no.
Wait a minute, Dad, I'm just getting a haircut.
Was this not just the latest example of the Young Bucks trying to look hard? Because I find with Matt especially, there's a lot more like posturing and like, I'm actually really tough, even though I don't look tough at all. I'm Matt Jackson.
Matt's the big cuss of the team. He's like the heavy. He's the heater. He's the one who. Well, yeah. He's the one. I don't like Cornette, but he calls him Hogan Buck or whatever because he kicks out everything and he batters everyone.
I've never thought of him like that. That's hilarious.
He's the big lad. Well, his arms are big,
Well, I'm not saying he's not, but the two of them together.
He does a spear.
Yeah, but he's the big one. Like,
he's the big one. He's the heavy.
Just the way it was like very like Baywatch, wasn't it? The way they're sort of just like
hair flowing.
If you watch one bit on AEW this week, make sure it's this.
If someone can edit the Baywatch theme on top of that and then just put like some green screen sand on the bottom of the whatever, make it work. I reckon it'll fit perfectly. I hope they do. Harken back to it was the Kenny and Hangman theme, wasn't it? Where we got the was it Cinderella, the 80s cheese sort of like that song. Don't know what you got. Find an equivalent for like the Young Bucks, like Papa Buck singing like I need a hero, and then the Young Bucks are like.
Oh God, we're not getting that fiver. Hangman Page beats Isaiah Cassidy after the Dark Order get Matt Hardy ejected from ringside.
They do a Tito Santana on him. Is it WrestleMania 1 where Tito grasses on the heels and they get DQ'd? The ref goes, I believe you then, you're Tito Santana. It's one of the early manias.
Yeah,
she just right. I think it was Aubrey, she just believed them. She said, well, you're good guys, so yes, believe you.
Matt promises to hurt Hangman and every single Dark Order member because Hangman Page said in his cry on this week, made some new friends. Aww. Before throwing Alan Angels off the stage through a table. Very well done there. So that's heating up. In the women's tournament, Nyla Rose beats Britt Baker in the semi-final of the American tournament, USA. She'll go on to face either Riho or Thunder Rosa. And this was a really good match. So far, it's delivered very well.
I had mixed feelings on the match.
Did you actually? Oh, go on then.
I thought a few bits were slow, but then they really picked it up towards the end. I liked all the near falls, a bit on most of them. Whenever she got her in the lockjaw, I was like, well, it's over now. So it was good. I feel like the match was ambitious, and they didn't quite... I feel like I'm being a bit harsh, to be honest. It might just be because the other matches have had like Serena Deeb and Thunder Rosa in them, and they've been mint. But it was still good. The only bit that really didn't make sense is when Rebel tried to punch Nyla. Should have gotten her DQ'd. It's a tournament, Rebel. Come on.
Yeah, but she's not the smartest one.
Well, that's true.
She's not the shiniest tooth in the mouth.
I was just shocked that Nyla won because presumably Rhea will win next week and we'll see that again, which leads, or maybe not, maybe it'll lead to Britt Baker doing something to Thunder Rosa. Maybe I don't know why I said Rosa like that. Rosa. Maybe just because Britt Baker needs to do something, doesn't she? Now, what does she do from here?
I thought she was going to be the next champion.
Yeah, so did I.
She kicked out the first finisher. They kept her a bit strong.
Yeah,
It did. In the main event, Lance Archer beats Phoenix to enter the Face of the Revolution ladder match. I forgot about that stupid name. They bump fists afterwards as Archer celebrates to close the show. What a match this was. Bloody hell.
It had like the best Spanish fly I've ever seen. And it just cut to the wide shot and all of the face wrestlers on that side of the ring are all just like, what the hell just happened there? Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. Phoenix is just outrageous.
Don't we look clever, lads?
I was going to say, Roz, yeah.
2019 Wrestler of the Year for Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast was Ray Phoenix Winders.
Well, you look clever because I voted for Kodos, so that's fair enough.
I'll take all the credit, thank you.
That's why you're around, man. You're keeping us afloat.
Wrestling expert, me.
That's right. TM.
Not just a fan with a camera. Wrestling expert.
That's right. Yeah, wonderful matches. Copy paste what we said last week and the week before that and the week before that about Phoenix's matches. We love them here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all we need to say.
I wanted him to win,
Revolution.
I wanted him to win. I hope there's something big planned for him because I wanted him in that ladder match a lot. Never mind.
I was all right with him not being a ladder match because him and Pentagon going at it in ladder match is like, well, that wouldn't make any sense.
Oh, he's good.
Bumps for the sake of bumps.
He'd go at it with everyone in the ladder match. Sorry, I sounded really like an outraged man in the football there.
Yeah.
Get it wide, man!
And in NXT news, let's have a look. Johnny Gargano faces Dexter Lumis. Austin Theory is reluctant to help Gargano, and Indy Hartwell just seems to be attracted to Lumis. Oh, well. He beats Gargano, and later we see that the way are split. Oh. Theory and Hartwell think he's misunderstood. The Garganos are bemused.
Yeah.
Is this the end of the way and us doing the this is not the way bit?
You've got Amarillo in my head now.
Is this the way?
Is this the way?
I don't know. Yeah, there's mind control going on here, isn't there? From Dexter Lumis or to Austin Theory, it would seem. And then I don't know how Indy Hartwell's been affected by it because she didn't get abducted, did she?
She just fancies him.
Yeah, just fancies him. It's like that Ted Bundy effect, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
You did see that Night Killer as well? That was a shock. You can see it with Ted Bundy, can't you? He's a
Night
good-looking
Stalker.
man. The Night Stalker. What did I say?
The Night Killer.
Oh, bollocks.
Which he was, you know.
He was as well.
He killed at night.
And in the day.
It's a good time to do it, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could see it with Ted Bundy though, couldn't you? But not the Night Stalker. That was weird. That's how he had female fans.
Yeah, it was weird, yeah. Was that after he got arrested and charged and all that?
Yeah, when he was in the courtroom.
Oh, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
People, murderers and that often have admirers. Yeah. I think it works both ways. I think female ones do with male admirers and both vice versa. It's odd. Everyone loves a bad boy, don't they?
Well, that's what's going on here with Indy Hartwell and Dexter Lumis. Dexter Lumis is doing some bad things and Indy Hartwell is infatuated with him.
He's not killed anyone. Oh, he did kidnap him. He's not. He's a baby face. He's a good lad.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's doing bad things, but it's to Theory and Gargano and the rest, so it's like, yeah, I've had it, Dexter. Because it reminds me of the Gogglebox meme you say. It's like, oh, we like a bad guy, don't we? It's like, yeah, but not a kidnapper.
not a terrorist, John.
Ruff versus Rust is next. But Ruff gets attacked during his entrance by Isaiah Swerve Scott. Oh, why's that? Because
Isaiah Swerve Scott said last week that he hates that Ruff gets handed all the opportunities, whereas a better wrestler like him needs to work harder. And then Malcolm Bivens went on Twitter and said, if I ever got jumped, which will never happen because I'm a G, I'd still make it to my match. I wouldn't just leave the match.
Cameron Graham tries to fool several people with the Ted DiBiase basketball trick. He says, hilarity ensues. You're damn right. That's why it's probably going to win this week's Hall of Fame. Zoe Stark loses a non-title match to Io Shirai, but gets a lot of offense in. Io shakes her hand afterwards. Tony Storm comes along and says that Io was scared to face anyone but her.
No, sorry.
Io says she'll wrestle her anyway.
sorry, Io is scared to face her and would rather face anyone instead of her. That's my bad there.
That makes more sense, thank you.
Aye.
Any thoughts on it? Or...
They're really invested in Zoe Stark.
Oh, good. The MSK are jumped by the grizzled young veterans backstage, and they injure Wes Lee's hand. Mm-hmm. Do you have to say Wes Lee
That's
to show
Desmond.
that the two different names?
It's Desmond Xavier there.
Desmond Xavier, PWG tag champ. By the way, there is the news. It's unconfirmed, but next week probably will be confirmed that they're trying to get Adam Maxted.
Oh,
Which would mean that they wouldn't just have the PWG tag champions; they'd have one half of the 5-star wrestling tag team champions of the world.
What does the other half do? What was he called?
Charlie Sterling.
Charlie Sterling.
Yeah, what is he doing these days?
Well, like most UK wrestlers, not a lot, but he would do
Wow, you
Preston City Wrestling?
you Google Charlie Sterling and all the results are about Gary Lineker launches Raheem Sterling defense. Phil Foden gives thanks to Raheem Sterling. Brendan Rodgers explains why Raheem Sterling really left Liverpool. Charlie's Premier League predictions. I'll have to put wrestler in, won't I? That's worked, everybody. That's worked.
Oh, good.
When was the last time he tweeted? Oh, he's doing Wrestle Travel, Wrestle Carnival. Charlie Sterling is coming. TheWrestleCarnival.com. Free publicity there. I don't know if that was a wise move or not, but there you go. That's what he's doing.
he last wrestled on Rev Pro in December 2020. Oh, they did an MD arena. They did an MD show, didn't they? Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
He'll be signed in 2 weeks' time. Gibson and Drake beat Killian Dane and Drake Maverick. Alexander Wolf sees Dane helping Maverick backstage and says, "You used to be a monster."
And the Grizzly Young Vets called Killian Dane and Drake Maverick Shrek and Donkey. Oh, it's good. Yeah. It was good, though.
I was going to say same to you, pal, but I mean, that works as well. Karrion Kross faces Santos Escobar in a wild no DQ match, which starts in the car park and ends in the arena. Kross beats the hell out of Escobar and his boys, including a nasty Saito suplex through a table before eventually winning the match. I remember last week people were saying and speculating that this was going to be Santos was injured or had COVID symptoms or whatever and was going to show up. So it just sounds like, no, it's a storyline. Rather like Kyle O'Reilly's reported by a very excited fan, oh God, he had a seizure and it was real. And we had to go, no, it's not. Well, it was a TV angle made. Oh, wait, calm down.
He turned up earlier on in the show, didn't he, in his car and refused to get out. So it seemed like it was all part of a storyline, yeah.
I liked his overalls. Nice touch.
Yeah. Generally, it was an exciting match, I thought. It was quite wild. Don't know what else to say.
It
was just good. Good.
It sucks when it's good because there's nothing else to say. It's like, nice overalls. It was a good match. All right, cool.
I was hoping that maybe Kross would be in danger and then Scarlett would lightly jog to help him. They would have been able to laugh about that if she'd done that.
Adam Cole wants to apologise to Kyle O'Reilly for putting him in hospital.
Sorry, that sounds like Kyle O'Reilly's there. He's still in the hospital.
Ah, see.
Adam Cole is just saying this.
Right, that makes sense. Roddy Strong comes out and is angry at Cole for what he's done to the Undisputed Era. Finn Balor now comes out and attacks Cole, but a conflicted Strong helps Cole fight him off. Strong accidentally hits Cole when he goes to check on him, and Cole breaks down. He says he's sorry, and they hug it out. Then Cole low blows Strong and calls him stupid. He says Strong is dead to him and super kicks him to end the show. The bastard.
It's over.
I love the acting, me. I was nearly in tears when they're on the mat hugging each other. Nearly in tears, I was.
Are you joking about the acting, or do you actually think it was good?
I'm joking.
Okay.
Oh.
Right.
I thought it was like the right amount of cheese for professional wrestling. I thought it was like proper, like you know what I mean. It fit what it was supposed to do.
If there'd been a live crowd, then
Yeah.
it would have felt less cheesy.
Yeah, they reported that Roderick Strong's testicles exploded and he's gone to the hospital. Something.
I can't wait for Kyle O'Reilly to get his hands on Adam Cole. Ooh. But because it's NXT, I'm worried that they're about to have a proper excellent singles match, and then Finn Balor will come along because he needs to be involved. Get him out of this storyline. Get him out.
No, do you not like it?
I do like it.
I think Finn Balor's completely justified. He's gone, no, I want to fight him.
I know, I get it. It does make sense, but maybe after he's fought him once. Oh! Is he going to lose the belt to him? And then Kyle O'Reilly's got to be the one, got to be the hero. Maybe they're doing that. I'll be more patient. I'll wait it out.
What a lovely week of wrestling that was.
It was actually a pretty good week of wrestling.
It was a good week of wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Raw wasn't too bad.
Aye. Shaq next week as well.
And Paul.
And Paul.
And Tully.
And Tully. Oh, no.
Yay! Get the cat excited, etc., etc.
Let's have a rummage in our mail bags.
Now let's have a little look in the mailbag. Number 1. Ari, lads and Mama Botch, because I ken she's watching. How's it going? Merry lockdown from Scotland. And Jack, do not do the accent.
Too late in this podcast.
Have I done it already? I did Drew, yeah.
I've been watching you guys since Name Redacted days, and I've just found which I've been looking for a while. A good old John O'Clock t-shirts. Oh, the times how bad he was at commentary. And I don't watch the product much nowadays. Just the big four and take hours. I'm more into AEW New Japan now. And no, Tony Khan isn't paying me to say this. Today, as you were recording on the 25th, it's my 23rd birthday now. I'll be spending watching the footy with a Donna calzone. Sorry if I've made you hungry. Mm-hmm.
Now stop the podcast there. A Donna calzone.
Well, it's a calzone filled with a Donna meat, isn't it?
I've never heard of that before in my life.
Oh, we had that in the Northwest. Oh, giant friggin'...
Like Fraser introduced me as well on the old Rumble stream that we did a month or two ago. The deep fried pizza.
Oh,
entire pizza
that.
just hide in some batter.
Right.
I don't want to sound racist, but I don't like things being deep fried. Like
you don't want to sound racist, but you don't want to... Oh, because it's a Scottish thing.
Yeah.
Right. Got you. I thought you were just
But then again, I'm a massive hypocrite because I'm Googling Donna calzone and going, oh, look at that. Look how beautiful that is.
I thought you just basically said like, oh, lads, I'm not racist, but I just hate Mondays. I think it just felt completely like offbeat.
Now I've all gotten distracted. And hopefully my team Rangers went through in Europa League. The way I've brought that up is because one of my favourite players has just been loaned to Sunderland. Jordan Jones. I know Jack is a fan, so hope you take good care of him.
He's been impressive so far. He's too good for this level. But we're still starting him from the bench for some reason.
Oh, good. Hope that little lad who's just bought Sunderland will know what to do with him.
Oh, he's 23. There's been memes going around of him and his also young girlfriend that like sat in the Stadium of Light, and he leans in to say something, and there's been people like retweeting it with stuff like, "Here, pet, they've got a thing called pink slices. We need to go and get one after the match," and stuff like that. Because he's from like France. He's not like far too sophisticated for the Stadium of Light.
Yeah, he's the Lando Norris of football managers.
Ooh, F1.
Anyway. So we're trying to get into more F1. You're going
to be getting into this. Are you excited for this season?
Oh, yeah. I mean, my mates have always talked about... Sorry about this question, mate. Let's take 2 seconds. But my mates have always been talking about F1 and been into F1 and been petrol heads and whatever. And I've only been casually listening to them and just watching YouTube highlights or whatever. But I've decided I've got all this spare time because I don't care about wrestling that much anymore. So now I'll just watch F1 as well.
Wrestling podcast.
Yeah. They know it's fake. And so we'll just watch that and get behind it. So I was asking them, though. I sounded really stupid. I went to my mates, mate, like... how do you watch F1? Do you have to pick a team or a driver and just go, yeah, I'm a chosen one? How do you pick? And they're like, no, you don't have to watch it like that, Maffew. It's not like wrestling.
You don't need to, but sometimes it can help. There was a lad at my uni who used to work, he still works, for a team who used to be called Force India. Then they got called Racing Point. Now they're called something else. They might be the Aston Martin team now, actually, which is cool. But he works for them, so I always support them, but they're not like Mercedes. They're not like one of the big winners. But I like to support them casually just because a lad from uni works for them and he was a lovely, lovely man.
Nice.
So I'm going to support them. What are they called now? Sorry, carry on with the...
Yeah, this person's question, which is turning into Lord of the Rings at the minute. Anyway, my question is, you have a golden ticket And this is to be used for your first wrestling event you see after lockdown.
Oh.
The ticket gives you backstage access and front row seats to any event you want. We already had that for AEW. Which one are you picking? I'm joking. Personally, for me, I would go see the next Wrestle Kingdom because I hope our UK boy and Jack's best mate, Will Ospreay, has won the G1 by then.
Jesus. Whoa.
Look, these libel things work two ways, you know. And he's going to face whoever is champion at that point. It was a toss-up between this and the Rumble. But, Tokyo just seems a class place to go anyway. Yeah, seems fair. All the best, lads. I've loved watching this podcast every Friday since you started it. Can't wait for the watch-along of the first podcast. Woohoo. Sincerely, Joel from Aberdeen, Scotland. P.S. P.S. I think Owen could take you, Jack. Sorry. It says only add if he has done the Scottish accent. Oh, he did it earlier. It's fair enough.
Me and Owen would never fight. What's going on?
He'd kill you.
I
don't know. We'll have to see what. Maybe I'll do a punishment video.
I reckon Owen fights really dirty.
I don't.
Ooh.
Do you know?
I don't think he needs to.
I don't think Owen has ever been close to coming into a fight, like, ever in his life.
No, someone will have gone through him on the football pitch and he's gone, you what, mate? You what? It's Liverpool.
I reckon he's done it because he's not knowing what getting slapped feels like. And then after he's gotten hit, he's like, I'm not doing that again.
That's not what Owen's like at all. I don't think
I think we're just making up stuff about him. I don't even know him enough to be saying these things. Anyway.
I just think he's too nice to fight. I think you'd see a fight and just walk the other way because he's a sensible man. That's my angle.
Andrew is too nice to fight. Owen would if he had to. Like if he was in danger. Like if he was... If a loved one was being attacked by Chris Jericho and MJF, for example, he would fight then. He'd fight then.
But would he run quickly? That's the question.
Yeah. Me and Owen were talking about like when we used to play football when we were young or whatever, like what position are you and stuff. And Owen just straight up was like, yeah, I'm either on the wing or up front because I'm really quick. I was like, oh, fair, right? Fair enough. Just back yourself there. He does look fast.
We do the joke where you think, oh no, my pizza's been in the oven too long. It's going to be burnt. Anyway, the question was, you have the golden ticket to go wherever you want. Where are you watching your first wrestling event when everything turns normal? Which might be at the end of this year, who knows?
Not asked about wrestling anymore. After just such a horrible 2020 for various reasons. But I'd use it for probably the Jericho Cruise. Because we've been talking about it and we've been like laughing about getting invites. We've been like, hi Chris, get us on the cruise, come on. And I would go to the Jericho Cruise, not for the wrestling necessarily, just for all the ridiculous stuff that seems to go on the Jericho Cruises. Like wrestlers embarrassing themselves in karaoke, all kinds of stupid stuff. Maybe Meltzer will be walking around and people can be like, whoa.
Didn't Booker T have a go with him?
Would I not?
That'd be a story.
I've just realised, would I want to be stuck on a cruise ship with wrestling fans for however long? This could have been a bad show.
Of course you would, Jack.
Yeah.
You would love
praising
that.
you.
Yeah, I'm one of them. Get in.
It'll be when we go to Rise, but for 3 days.
That's what I just thought. I was like, no. I like Rise. When people are normally very nice in Rise, but it's just like you say when you're trying to. When the excellent bit of the song's coming up and then someone's like, why do you think they're booking the Shield at the minute?
Just one more. I can't believe they put the title on Miz.
Don't be put off approaching us in public. I feel bad now.
No, because you should be, because one guy did it one time. He went, look, I'm not going to ruin your night. I just want to say thanks for the podcast. And that was it. It was great.
No,
I have no patience. If I've had a few drinks, I'm with people, I'm having a good time and enjoying life, and someone goes like, I think AEW's overrated me. I'm like, shut up.
I try to be like, I just give very short answers. I'm like, yeah, cool, yeah. I like to talk to people when they just want to ask, like, or they just want to say what they do or like where they're from. That's much more interesting than talking about wrestling. I'll
talk about wrestling any time, any day of the week. Apart from when it's Saturday night, the one Saturday night you get of the week when there's singing and dancing and songs going on. My God, all right. So where would you go, Ross?
Don't mind being approached by people. I feel bad now, man. I feel bad. Anyway.
Stay away from me. I'll go at the Raw after Mania. I'd love to do that again, but like, because I went to one, but I was dressed up as a king, so I didn't have a good time. So I was too self-conscious about the way I looked. So I'd go to that one and have a jolly good time.
Nice. What happened at the one that you went to? Do you remember? Because I was at the one where, I think you're at there as well, where Roman Reigns coming out and going, my yard, after people booed him for 10 minutes.
The one we went to was after WrestleMania 32. At the one where AJ Styles won the 4-way in the main event, and then Vince McMahon was there at the start. Just felt like the entire arena was looking at this man, like grown man, dressed as a king.
An excellent part of the night was when we'd never met him before at this point. Wale walked past and went, "How you doing, King?" Gave Ross a little fist bump or a handshake and walked off, and Ross was just like...
I was like, "How you doing, pal? You all right?" I knew at that point in time, I knew about the song with Lady Gaga, "My Name Wale, Wale, Wale," but that was all I knew about Wale, so I didn't initially recognise him. I didn't know what he looked like.
We then met Wale afterwards, and he was spot on. You know, we're well familiar with Wale now.
I just wish he would. Right, I wish he would look at my DM when I ask him to come on Straight to Hell, and just give me a reply. A no will be fine. I just want to know if it's a yes or a no. Right, Wale. I've asked you 3 or 4 times now, and I've had no reply.
Beautiful.
Please, Wale.
No,
please.
that's excellent networking there.
Yes. And after that, read Ross's amazing article on the definition of the thing.
No, bollocks to that article. Just say yes or no, Wale. Just that's all I want, Mr. Wale. Sir.
Call us maybe. But it's funny.
It's not a Wale.
Was it not? Though. But the funniest thing is, like, I've only had one interaction with him on Twitter, and it was... I said something like, Roman Reigns looked really good this week. And I was like, in contradiction to when he looked bad, I guess. And Wally's like replied, no, he didn't. I'm like, and then Wally'd been on WWE Raw like several times that year.
You cannot complain.
He's criticized. No, he was crap.
His passion for wrestling is fantastic. And he swore again there. He absolutely loves it.
He's also the best at wearing and selecting good-looking wrestling merch to wear. Like, his vintage wrestling merch looks good, whereas, you know, wrestling merch is hard. Sometimes you'll get yourself like that RVD one with all the sperm on it or whatever. But no, his is good.
Hey, whatever you do with that shirt, your own thing. My golden ticket is going to have to be... let me think all the places. I'll tell you what, not Wrestle Kingdom. When the Japanese deathmatch companies do that 1 week where they all run like Freedoms, and I think it's just Freedoms at the minute, to be honest with you. That's not going to work, is it, for a while? Or Alberhausen. Right. Beautiful, EasyJet there and back. Oh, there we go. I'd waste my golden ticket on going there.
You've been there before, though.
I know.
Okay.
But, you know, you just go someplace that's nice.
I was almost
lovely people, and you miss them. You miss the experience of going there and travelling.
I was almost going to go for PWG, because I've never been before, I thought you were going to go for Triple Mania.
Oh, that's a great idea. Thank you. Yeah, I'll go Triple Mania.
There you go.
Absolutely. Then. Oh, Jack, you little wonderful person. Yeah.
Cheers.
Afternoon, gents. Question number 2, an hour and a half later. Long-time watcher, first-time contributor. Can't claim to have watched from the beginning. Don't worry about that. But maybe around 30. Yeah, that's fine.
Wow.
Firstly, love everything you're doing. I started as a wrestling fan who likes YouTube, and I'm a Cultaholic fan who sometimes watches pay-per-views. I am an extremely late bloomer in the wrestling who once saw a retro hype package for Kane whilst pissed at a karaoke bar and decided to see what all the fuss was about. Having seen the American Big Show lose to the Russian Rusev and Dolph Ziggler, and Sting, who I knew nothing about, overcome the odds against the Authority, I decided WWE was less predictable than I thought. Cena beat Rusev at WrestleMania, and the Authority was back weeks later, but I was far too gone already. Sounds about right. So my question, what is your first wrestling memory? I don't necessarily mean first time watching the product or first memorable match. For example, my first actual memory is of my cousin playing a WWE game whilst I was 8 and thinking it was terribly violent. I had a posh and sheltered upbringing. Cheers, George from Redden.
Cheers, George.
Thank you, George, and thank you for the Redden Festival. Mine, Tim. Mine specifically is my neighbours where I lived in Newton Aycliffe. Bloody hell, it's gone back a while. they had, I think, shirts or a video, or maybe he's holding a poster of the Legion of Doom. So I'm trying to think why that would be. So it would have to be maybe Battle Royal at the Albert Hall. That's got them on the front cover. But I remember seeing them, and that was the first exposure to what a wrestler looked like, because it was such a weird. I'm like, what is that? Those lads with the big red and black shiny pads and spikes and face paint. One of them's a spider, one of them's a hawk. One of them's got a reverse mohawk. I'm like, what's that? And then just walked off. It really was one of these images you're seeing. You're like, what? You're thinking about it years later, just burning into your head. Like, what? Human beings look like that? So, what about you, Ross?
Mine's one of two. I don't know. I can't put it in order. Mine's either getting Super Bowl 2000 and the WCW Superstar Series with Goldberg and Sting, the green VHS, getting that for my 8th birthday, or the fake American wrestling I saw at Morpeth Leisure Centre, where me and a couple of other kids saw what was supposed to be Prince Albert. He was stood outside the bogs looking very menacing like that, and I remember looking up at him going, who are you supposed to be? It's one of those two things. I can't remember which one. I had a picture with fake Kane and fake Undertaker in the ring, which was it's boggling because I was terrified of Kane as a kid, and it was that original, OG Kane, mask and all, the real guy, Glenn. He was there in Morpeth.
Yeah, it was a fake Undertaker, but the real Kane. And what about yourself, Joe?
I can't remember, but the earliest thing I remember, but I was clearly already into wrestling at this point, but was the Attitude game on the N64. So not the good one, not No Mercy, Attitude, which was hard. Like, I was never good at it. It was hard. And I remember before the match, it would go to Wrestler 1 and they'd do a taunt. And they'd go to Wrestler 2 and they'd do a taunt. And one of the Rocks one of Steve Austin's was, can we say the P word? You P-word me off?
Yeah.
Yeah, he says, you pissed me off. And I knew that was a bad word, I'd been told. So I remember being so scared that my mum was going to find out. And I think I ran and hid in the garden in case she was going to take the game off me. That's the logic when you're a kid. If I run away, and then nothing bad will happen.
I think that was a feature in the PlayStation 1. I think it was exclusive to it. You could change it from sweary to non-sweary to say different things. I hope I'm not making that up.
If only I'd known.
My memory's bad, as you can tell by the show. I remember that Al Snow's head was an unlockable character in that game. And obviously they do the pre-match things, so it goes to head, and it's just a head and hand and feet, isn't it, body?
Yeah.
And he goes, I am so big and muscular.
What? Wow.
Because I guess head had to have lines.
That was a rock solid game, that one. That was really difficult.
It certainly was. Number 3. Hello and ahoy hoy. There have been some great quizzes recently, and I have made one about the pay-per-view between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, or the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania, to account for the 4 years where there were 2 pay-per-views between, like this year, not counting NXT Takeovers, network specials, or super shows. Not like this year, I'm stupid. A good one for me was No Way Out 2000, which is the first pay-per-view I saw. It says Mark Henry versus Viscera was a classic. Winky face. Getting into wrestling when Channel 4 got the rights, having the fun of watching Heat on a Sunday afternoon. Enjoy the quiz, and thank you for all your content, especially with helping to get through the last year. Pass over to Ross for some Quizalicious for you, baby.
Quizalicious?
Oh, another quick thing, actually. Richard Butcher sent that question from Snowing Nottingham, and he's the one who said, have you tried doing a New Age Outlaws spiel? I have now, Richard. Thanks for the suggestion.
What's your noises this week, lads?
I'll go for... Oh, man, I'm really bad at thinking of these. One more time.
Tribute. Question number 1. In which year was the first pay-per-view held between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, and what was its name? Maffew.
It was... It was Rage in the Cage, 1996.
Correct. In your house, Rage in the Cage. Give it its full
in your
title.
house, sorry.
For people playing along at home.
I'm sorry.
Name either of the 2 people involved in the first match on that show.
Oh, Brucey P just did the podcast for this.
They are both big names.
Oh.
Maffew. Are you counting the kickoff show?
No, I think this
I'm in
would be
trouble.
Oh, nah.
I'm in trouble
That's Jake
here.
Roberts versus Tatanka, I think.
I'm in trouble.
I think this is main card, yeah.
Balls. Is it Razor Ramon versus 123 Kid?
Correct.
Oh, it was the first match.
Oh!
Oh, okay.
When was the first event that a world title changed hands? Or when was the first event that a world title changed hands and who won it? Yep.
It would it be? Oh Christ, what was it called? 97, the four-way.
Incorrect.
Oh,
I've got the air down here. It's not 97.
is that off the title? Okay.
I'll have a guess. One more time.
Jack.
Yeah, I'll go for 998 D-Generation X. When was that in your house?
Closer, but no cigar. No
Okay.
Way Out 2001.
What?
The Rock beat Kurt Angle for the WWF Championship.
The first time any title changed hands, or the first time a
World.
world title, right? Wow.
World title change
That's
hands.
much later than I thought, still.
Out of the 25 events held, how many have seen a world title change hands?
Should we both guess a number?
Yeah.
Maffew?
5.
Correct.
Oh.
Were you going to say 5?
Oh, no, I wasn't going to say 5. No.
At which event were there 3 world title changes and who won them? 3 world title
3?
changes.
Oh, whoa. One more time.
Jack.
No Way Out 2008.
Ooh, it's not written on the sheet of paper.
Okay, fair enough. That was No Mercy. That wasn't even in between WrestleMania and Rumble.
No, I did. No, you're right.
Was that then?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
I
not.
thought
Maybe not.
No Way Out 2009.
Elimination Chamber 2010.
Okay.
Oh.
Cena won a chamber match where Sheamus went in as champion. Batista beat John Cena for the championship after Vince McMahon. And then Chris Jericho won a chamber, where Shawn Michaels did that.
Yes.
And he swore again. That's buggery, we'll say. Number 6. How many years did it take for the Women's/Divas Championship to be defended on the main card of an event?
Oh, man.
So what the answer? Yeah, I'm looking for how many years it took from the first event. How many years after that did it take?
So not from the invention of the belt, from the
the
first.
invention of the mid-Rumble
Aye.
Mania pay-per-view.
Okay. One more time.
Jack.
I'm going to say it took 12 years.
Close, but not. No,
Okay.
no.
No. It's. I think there's 101 between Trish and Steph, so I'm going to say 5.
Divas.
17 is written down here.
It was the Divas belt.
Oh,
First time defender was the Divas Championship at the Elimination Chamber of 2012.
Can I get a point there, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Out of pity.
What is the longest match to take place at an event? Name the event, the year, the length, the wrestlers, and the stipulation.
Oh, no. Do one.
How about we don't?
One more time.
Jack.
I'm going to go for Elimination Chamber 2018, an Elimination Chamber match, the one with Roman, Strowman, and all the rest.
I think that was covered in a quiz recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did that last week.
Yeah.
I think that match was longer than the one that's written here.
Whoa. Whoa.
That'll set the cap on the pigeons, but we'll go with the answers written down here and trust our viewership.
Oh,
Maffew.
okay. I thought the other one then was the 29th, the one the year later, slightly longer.
One written down here is No Way Out 2001. Length is 39 minutes 26 seconds. Triple H versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, 3 stages of hell. I'll repeat the question just in case. What was the longest match to take place at an event? Name the event. Yeah, what is the longest match, full stop?
But have we made a mistake with the criteria? Was he not counting years when there were 2 pay-per-views in between? Was this not the last one before WrestleMania in 2018?
Maffew will have to answer that one.
The next one was
Not counting.
Fastlane.
Oh, I've been mistaken.
that's what
Not
we've
counting NXT takeovers, network specials, or super shows.
I thought there was a bit after that where he said 2 events and blah, blah, blah.
I mean about the pay-per-view between the Rumble and WrestleMania / the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania.
The last
to
one,
account
yeah.
for the 4 years where there were 2 pay-per-views between.
So yeah, that's where we
Well,
enough,
misread
yeah.
your criteria completely, mate. Yep, we've just been stupid people here.
How many times have no world titles been defended, in brackets, not including the ECW Championship? And can you name the events and years?
No titles have
No.
been defended.
It's a yes or no question, and I'm going to say no. And I should get a point for being honest.
They aren't. Well, Maffew.
Going through.
What's the question again? How many times have no world titles been defended, not including the ECW championship?
Is it once? And it was No Way Out in Texas.
4. No Way Out 1998, No Way Out 2007, Fastlane 2015, and Elimination Chamber 2020.
I should have got a point because the last bit of the question was on can you name them, and I said no, and I couldn't. I was right, so I should get a point.
Yeah, Jake should get a point for that.
9 individual championships have only been defended once at an event. Can you name any of them and where they when they were defended? Individual championships is, for example, a Raw Tag Team Championship, World Tag Team Championships, etc. 9 individual championships have been defended once at an event. Name any of them and when they were defended. Individual championship is, for example, Raw Tag Team Championships, World Tag Team Championships, etc.
One more time.
Jack.
I'll go for No Way Out 2002 and the Cruiserweight title because that was when it first came along and I'm banking on it never have been defended there again.
There is a No Way Out 2002 answer here, but it's not the Cruiserweight title.
Okay.
So half a point, I guess. Maffew.
No.
Well, you could add one of Light Heavyweight Championship, No Way Out 1998. NWA Heavyweight Championship, No Way Out 1998.
Yeah, never
There's
got
2
that
No Way Out, 2002s. The European Championship and Undisputed Championship. The World Tag Team Championship, No Way Out 2003. NXT Tag Team Championship, Roadblock 2016. Raw Women's Championship, Fastlane 2017. Universal Championship, Fastlane 2017. Women's Tag Team Championship, Fastlane 2019. Last question, everybody. Are we excited?
Yeah.
Certainly
Which was the first event to feature an Elimination Chamber match? Brucey bonus. How many matches have taken place at all of the last pay-per-views before WrestleMania?
Sorry,
I think that's a separate question.
Sorry, can
Number
you...
10.
What was the first part of this? What was the first Elimination Chamber?
Which was the first event to feature an Elimination Chamber, but obviously between WrestleMania and the Rumble?
2008.
Correct. The Brucey bonus.
Wait, I'm confused.
So winner takes all. Yeah, so the first time
Say
the
the Brucey
Chamber
bonus
match
again,
was
please.
Brucey bonus.
Sorry, can you say the question again, please?
Oh, the question. I thought you just want me to say Brucey bonus. How many matches have taken place at all of the last pay-per-views before WrestleMania? Winner takes all here.
I'll just guess.
Maffew.
13.
Jack?
What? How many matches have taken place?
At
Just
all
any
of the
matches?
pay-per-views, yeah.
Right, okay, I'll guess.
Oh, I meant all the Elimination Chamber matches. Oh, crap.
Matthew, have a proper
whatever,
guess.
I'm not gonna get it right anyway.
Have a proper guess. We'll see who's
Closest answer
closest.
takes the quiz.
Yeah.
Closest answer takes the quiz.
All right. It was like roughly 8, and there's been a lot of them. 800.
I'm going to say 123.
169. Jack takes the quiz.
I don't win the whole quiz.
Wait a minute, what was my maths there? 800. Jesus Christ, Matthew.
As soon as you said that, I thought I might as well not risk this and go high. I'm just going to...
Jack just said 1 and been right.
Yeah.
800.
I enjoy those quizzes, me.
Yeah, they were great. Some of those questions look very well done, but some of them like name 17 things. I'm like, nah, yeah, all right. But they were good though. Thank you very much, Richard Butcher again.
Excellently researched.
Yes.
They were. Number 4, Kia Ora Diddlers. Keeping up with the foreign train gimmick. This time I have some Kiwi, in brackets New Zealand, thank you, slang for you to decipher. I will put the answers at the bottom of the email so Jack doesn't cheat and ruin the whole thing. Good luck with the accent. Keep in mind while you read these, like at the pub or outside doing something. I'm very happy for you, pal. And I know already, wait a minute, this is from Obscurity. The guy who saw my streams.
Oh, piss off then. I don't want to talk to him. No,
is he getting your streams as well?
Being legitimate here, right? He's one of the reasons. He's one of the reasons that I'm assuming it's a boy, I don't know. They are one of the reasons that I look forward less to streaming every week. So you can do one. Don't care.
Oh, God, why? What happened?
Well, he just always has a go and just constantly nitpicks at me in the chat. And if I saw him, I'd just love to... I
didn't know this. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't know this either.
No, I
know him. He's a dick with me, but I thought it was a playful thing.
I think he thinks it's a playful thing. And now he's going to discover that actually, I'm just trying to do my job, mate. Just piss off.
Oh, no.
No, I've had a crap week, Maffew. I've got no motivation
sorry,
to do
Jack.
this. I might just go and get a job in a pub somewhere. I've had enough.
We can say hello to him, because he's... Oh, anyway. Well, on that
Job
note...
tries to cheat. No, the thing is, right, that's not even a very, like... Obviously, that's nothing. That's like nothing offensive. But it's constant, Maffew. Mate, it's constant with this lad. Just constantly. Do you know what I mean? And then Owen's there next to me going, oh, Obscurity's had to go at you again. I know he has. and one pinprick can't harm a man, but a million little friggin' pinpricks every day. Oh, I want to smash something. Right, okay.
I still like you.
Oh, Maffew, you're not helping. Anyway,
On that happy note, what
I'm
do you
sure he's a
think...
nice lad. Am I?
As we continue going around the world with this, finding out how little we know about other cultures, here's some local colloquialisms from New Zealand. Number 1, what do you think chur means? C-H-U-R.
Who knows? It's New
I've got
Zealand.
literally no
Who,
idea.
honestly, who cares? Sheep.
Oh, wait, I'm supposed to have them in front of us. So
And can I,
can see the answers
to
down.
defend myself against this point that I cheat as well. People don't typically put the answers there. I'm just really clever in class obscurity, so can you do one, actually? Sorry, that's really... You know what? He's been the straw that's broken the camel's back. It's not him. It's not actually him. It's not actually him. What is a chur, please?
Sorry, I had to...
Chair in Scouse.
Chur.
Kiwi for thanks, cool, etc. That was choice air, bro.
Oh, that's just stupid, that.
Munter.
Ugly
Ugly.
person.
That's
I
British
think,
one as
I think we
well.
use that over here. Yeah, an ugly woman, British slang. Oh, wait a minute.
Do your research, you dick. Absolute tit.
Yeah, nothing comes up in urban songs. See that?
Stupid person.
Oh.
You should know that.
Up the gut.
Up the guts. Is that a vulgar term for sexual intercourse?
I thought it would be that.
Yeah, I concur.
No, to be straight up or have the courage to tell someone something to their face, like you're doing right now. You are up the guts right now.
No, it's not to his face. He's on the other side of the prison wall.
Bogan, and it says, has a different meaning to our slower Australian cousins.
Bogan.
I prefer Australians personally, mate.
Liar.
I'll say it's got a slightly different meaning.
Oh, nothing's
Is
come up
it
there.
like a fool, an idiot?
Something I have to find out.
Didn't he attach the definitions?
He did. He said it in the email specifically, so I wouldn't cheat.
Yeah, so Jack's sent it. It's not
So
given
I
them
left,
to me, so I don't have them either.
I think I must have left them off then. I thought Ross had them because he does the mailbag.
I've got them, yeah. I sent them to everybody. I've got them here.
Okay.
It says
Oh,
Sam
you go
is,
ahead, pal. Sorry about that.
Sam is a bit of a bogan. A metalhead who is into cars and drinking cheap booze.
Sam likes expensive drink, to be fair to
Yeah,
him.
he does, aye.
He likes,
Flamboyant man with the alcohol.
IPAs and that, good ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I call him a Bogan then. Both terms. Hard case.
Are you Joe? Is he having a laugh? That's quite obvious, surely. A tough person.
The correct answer is someone who makes you laugh / something that is positive or cool.
I was wrong there.
The podcasts are hard case.
I was wrong there. I apologise, obscurity.
Skux. S-K-U-X.
It's just a noise, that.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what to say for that one. Apparently it means a
Scucks.
word that is just something positive but can change meaning depending on context. Looking
kind of-
skucks mean you can look attractive or cool depending on the context.
What kind
Oh,
of...
we both look
Oh.
Skux. Jack is looking very Skux this week.
What kind of guttural orc language is this?
Right. Oh,
That reaction video was totally skucks.
there you go.
That is the
Ross, well
sentence.
done.
There you go.
Choice.
Good. Excellent.
It is a pun. It's used as a pun at the way New Zealanders speak. Yeah, that jacket you're wearing is choice. Yeah, pretty much. Mean.
Same as choice. Good. Oh, that's a mean...
Number 9.
That's a mean ring you found there, Frodo.
A word for something that is very cool and masculine. Those cultaholic shirts are really mean.
Yeah, nah. I've seen people say this online. It's like, isn't it a mocking thing just to disagree with people?
If
Yeah,
someone
must be-
says
yeah.
yeah, nah, or nah, yeah, only the last word said counts. E.g.,
Right.
did I mean what I said about the shirts? Yeah, nah.
No, yeah, of course, mate. No, yeah.
yeah.
That's more Australian. I can't really do New Zealand accent.
Hiding.
Fight or beat up somebody, it's the same up here, innit?
Yeah.
Give
if you're
them a hiding. Yeah. Stupid from him again. That's 3 now.
Spin a yarn. We have that over here as well to tell a story.
Story.
Have a chat.
It's 4.
Piece of piss.
Easy. 5.
Easy. Yeah, that's what that means over there as well.
Pack a sad. As in packing
Don't know.
in like in a box. Pack a
Oh, I
sad.
don't like the example he's used here. I'm a bit nervous about saying this. The definition is give an over-dramatic and negative reaction to something. E.g., after you read that, Jack must have packed a sad.
he's picked me there. He's absolutely nailed it. I'm sure that gives him a little bit of pleasure in his sad little body.
Egg. Is it to encourage? Like
I
egg
can't be. Oh, Maffew! I can't be freaked to do this.
Hey, so cheer you bunch of eggs. Hope it wasn't too meggy for you and you found it a piece of piss. Obscurity somewhere in New Zealand. Thank you very much for sending us those lovely pics and questions
mate.
and quizzes and everything else. You can, of course, send them along with any pictures of dogs you may want to put on the dog wall to mailbag@cultaholic.com. And we love you, Jack. Reese's Pieces. All right, lads. Hopefully the following Reese's Pieces is a nice, irreverent bit of silly fun to help alleviate the numbing inevitability of lockdown life cries.
Wow.
For this Reese's Pieces, it's a case of select which of these choices, between someone wrestling related and something hopefully amusingly nonsensical, you think would win in a shoot fight. If preferred, it could be who or what you guys would prefer to have a legit fight with. Oh god, I hope Owen's not in this. For the purpose of the game, it's a fight to KO or death, but that feels extreme. And all participants are aware of the situation and are actively trying to win. I've stuck to 10 to hopefully not bore Maffew too much, in case Ross is flagging by now, or if someone has upset Jack.
What are the chances of that?
I don't know. If it helps, I can drink loudly. If that'll distract
Aye,
Ross.
that'll do, yeah.
That'll do it. Number 1. Fastest thought first. We'll go Maffew, Ross, Jack. The Big Dog Roman Reigns, Road Dog, and the Dirty Dogs versus 101 actual Dalmatians.
How vicious are Dalmatians?
Not very.
Are they
They're
not?
adorable, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
I would go for the humans.
I think that. Do you think that once they hit one or two of the dogs, the rest of the dogs would band together, or do you think they'd run away?
Like a dog Borg cube.
Yeah.
Pack mentality.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, 101 actual dogs. It will be 57 Dalmatians by the time they get their
It's a
stuff
lot.
together. But yeah,
It's quite a lot.
it is.
I might go for the dogs.
I'm going for the dogs.
Okay.
The Mysterios, Ray, Dominic, and Alia, versus a fleet of flying scorpions. And it says a fleet constitutes at least 16.
Flying scorpions would win all day long, wouldn't they?
Are they toxic? Are they poisonous? I'll go for the scorpions.
No, the Mysterios have been unfanged years ago. Sorry. I'll go with the scorpions because I wouldn't want to mess with one. Brock Lesnar versus a bear with a knife. And it says, and he knows how to use it.
The bear.
What kind of bear?
It just says a bear.
Because I'm scared of bears, so I've done research on them before. So
What's the rhyme? There's a rhyme, isn't there?
yeah, it's if it's black, fight back. The bear. If it's a black bear fight, you can fight back, and it'll probably run away. If it's brown, lie down, and if it's white, good night. Polar bears are the most dangerous ones. I'll go for the bear.
I'd like to see this match. I think Bellator would put it on at this rate. But, yeah, a bear. I think the bear would take a shot from Brock, get his knife out and go, nah, too easy. And then they'd have a big dramatic battle. Sheamus versus the usual population, before COVID times, of your local Weatherspoons at 10 a.m. on a weekday.
Oh.
Do you mean 10 a.m. or 10 p.m.?
I think they mean AM, implying that like hardened drinkers are in there at 10 a.m.
Because at that time, hardened drinkers are softened drinkers, really.
I would take Sheamus all day long, simply going off the quayside spoons in Newcastle when I would have my bicycle come into the office. The only people that were in there early doors, 10 a.m. time, were old people, and I reckon Sheamus could batter them.
Yeah. Yeah, 10 a.m. I think Sheamus has got this. 10 p.m. though, Ross. Who would you have?
Oh, it's the weather spoons all day long, isn't it?
Just from numbers alone.
Yeah.
And often there's bouncers at that spoons on a night time.
Throw him in the river.
Not this year, obviously, but they do that spot once a North show. He's going to throw him in the river.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
And I remember people going, how much money would they need to take to get that? And then how much trouble would they be in with the police have to come get you out? It's like,
I don't think there's enough money in the world to jump in the time, mate. I think it's disgusting.
I saw a video of Scotty T from Geordie Shore doing it once.
Oh, nah.
Did they just leave him, or did someone have to go get him?
I think it was a different part. It wasn't near town. It was like a shallow. It must have been like a safer bit somewhere further upstream, maybe. But he's doing the Ice Bucket Challenge. So he goes, everyone, obviously I'm here doing the Ice Bucket Challenge. Here's the ice. He's got like 2 bags of ice. And here's the river. And he just jumps in. Even though there's no mention of a river in the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Here's the river.
And here's the river. And he delivers the line as he's already starting to jump. He's like, and here's the river.
Kenny Omega versus Kenny Omega's hair grown sentience like Snake's hair in Treehouse of Horror 9. God.
Wow.
The hair.
Kenny Omega.
The promos would be amazing.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega's hair in a style of its own. The AEW commentary team versus 2 under-11s football teams.
I like these.
The football teams.
Who we got? JR, Tony, and Excalibur. No,
Mind you, I reckon Tony can hold his all.
It would be close, but I'm going for the announce table.
Doesn't Tony have enough kids to have 2 under-11s football teams? All you do is go do the wolf whistle. I can't do, and all his fam, the posse would come running.
22 kids. So the question is, if 2 older men were attacked and a younger man were attacked by 22 kids. Oh, man. That's the best one so far. I'll go for the announce table.
The thought you put into this. Like life or death.
Yeah.
Haku and the Wild Samoans versus every X Factor contestant.
Haku and the Wilds. Oh, every contestant. Not every winner. Oh, well, then all the contestants, unfortunately. There's just enough of them.
More blood for the blood god at that point. God. Current day Undertaker versus 1996 Kevin Keegan, who would love it if he beat him. He would love it. I wonder if there's like a big montage of us saying that Keegan thing every week. And how long it would be.
You made a little reference earlier, and I thought you were going to go off for it, but you didn't. You pulled away. You saw it was there. You said you love it about something, but you left it alone.
Thank you for that, Ross.
1996 Kevin Keegan was like just a bottle of fizzy pop that was shaken up a bit too much. So he would just flatten Undertaker, wouldn't he?
I'm going for the modern day Undertaker, I'm sorry.
You think Undertaker would attack Stuart Pearce before it to set up the match? When you do that to a man like Stuart Pearce. Sorry.
I think that Undertaker would come to the ring with Fergie managing him. I think that Kevin Keegan would
that's it. It goes to a time limit. And Keegan's this close to beating him, and he goes, Ferguson time, and he gets
Fergie
2 more
time.
minutes. He goes, what? And then Undertaker beats him.
I think that Keegan would land early and often, but he's a much smaller man than the Undertaker, and just like 1 or 2.
Get me jacked.
Kevin Keegan?
Oh no, 96 Keegan was. 86 Keegan could have had him.
No, I think we're right. Hang on, let's Google Kevin Keegan height, just out of curiosity.
Kevin Keegan must be 5'7".
Well, that's
Yeah,
not
but with the 96 hair, he's 5'9".
Scrappy Doo though. Scrappy Doo vibes from Kevin Keegan in 96.
depending
Have you
on
not seen him in the 80s?
depending on whether we go off Google or celebheights.com. Keegan is either about 5'6.5" or about 5'7". He can't weigh a lot. Not to sound like art thingy. How much does this guy weigh?
Yeah, you're right. If he's living in Newcastle, he's living a healthy diet of, doner calzone. Anyway, we'll move on. I'll take this all day. Daniel Bryan, who loves planting trees, versus a moderately large gang of beavers who love cutting down trees.
Moderately large gang. What's a moderately large gang? Is that like 15?
Yeah, it's a big gang.
Yeah, I would say 12 to 15. I mean, the famous saying is fighting like beavers, so I would have to go for beavers.
Defending like beavers.
Beavers, yeah. I'll go for the beavers because Brian would be too emotionally... He can't harm an animal. He wouldn't do it.
And it's part of the ecosystem, isn't it? Beavers to do that. So I think, Daniel Bryan just wouldn't fight. Nia Jax versus Big Mama Botch with a baseball bat with a nail in it because she's not like most girls. What, me mum?
Did you say something last week about her not being like most girls or something? Maybe. I mean, is your mum harder than Nia Jax?
Yeah, because if Nia Jax touches me mum, I'll kill her.
Right.
I don't know how, but I'll summon the large beavers. Tell her, oh, look, it's a tree, and then that's it. Big Mama Botch because I love her, but she's not listening at this point, so I could say Nia Jax.
BMB all day long for me. Got the mental game locked down, hasn't she? She'll just figure a cunning plan and then execute it to perfection.
Now, you know what? My mum wouldn't fight Nia Jax. They'd come together, they'd find some shared bond, and my mum would cook her the nicest carrot cake you've ever tasted, and there'd be no more war in the world. I want some of that now. Hopefully this has managed to get at least a chuckle. Thank you guys for giving me something to look forward to each week during recent health issues. All the best, James B. from Middlesbrough.
Cheers, Jim. That was a good one.
Thank you, James B. That was very successful. Thank you for keeping it short and sweet, rather like myself. And if you have any Reese's Pieces, please send them to mailbag@cultaholic.com. And make sure there's a reference to Kevin Keegan in it, or we won't read it.
It's Cultaholics.
Big question.
What a nice podcast. And there's just a little bit left. And as this week's big show question. The Big Show. What do we want him to be doing in AEW?
Could I bring this little question to a standstill? Just to look at our news chat here at work, Maffew.
Uh-oh.
Big breaking news has happened potentially during the podcast filming. EC3 signing with Ring of Honor. I don't know. Lewis House has put for tomorrow's video, I can see Casey from NXT out for months with an injury and EC3 signing for Ring of Honor. So if that means conclusive or if that means there's rumours, I don't know as I'm sat here right now.
I left a bit off the NXT thing. Casey lost to Xia Li. She stomped on her leg. Sorry.
The timing on that one. Thank you, Jack. I mean, that's good for EC3. We don't really follow Ring of Honor that much, if at all, so good for him. I thought he'd already signed months ago, to be honest with you.
I think it was talked about.
Yeah, it was talked about. There we go.
I just thought I'd tell you, because normally we finish the podcast and then the news happens.
Yeah.
But we're sat here live and it's just been put in the chat there, so...
It's just one of these fake outs. The logo's coming up, the copyright bit in the bottom right corner. Where we at? There we go. Cultaholic. Trademark. It's all right, lads. And then EC3, a sign for Ring of Honor. By God. Well, good for him. The Big Show.
I thought he was one of your favourites.
No, he is. I just don't watch Ring of Honor.
Oh, fair enough.
Nothing personal. There's just so much wrestling to go around. And between Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Vengeance Day, Rusev Day, Elimination Chamber Day, and everything else. Sorry, Ring of Honor. But yeah, Big Show. He does have, they managed to say in the big press release, that he has a wrestling license and commentating one. He did do commentating very briefly in 2014, I want to say, on Raw and I think main event, stuff like that. He's got a good voice for it. Mm-hmm. He's got that big man confidence that we see from Kevin Nash. So it'll be nice to see how that comes across in his commentary. Are we going to get serious Tony Schiavone style stuff, or are we going to get silly bollocks like Taz? I'm all for that. What do you think, Jack?
I would like to see Big Show in kind of a Taz role in that he's done the wrestling. He can break it down. You know, when you hear a wrestler like Samoa Joe talk about what's going on, and it's like, oh, this is, you know, like this is why they're doing that. Regal's excellent at it. This is the pressure they're putting on here and whatever. I'd like that from the Big Show. But like I said in the main bit of the podcast, 3 matches for me: Darby Allin, Marco Stunt, Shaq, and then he can do all the out of ring stuff. I don't mind from there, but just those 3, that would be excellent. Maybe at the same time.
To interrupt, why do you want Darby? I can figure the other 2 well, but those 2 are a bit like, all right.
I'll be honest, I thought of Darby and then I thought of Marco's Stunt and I thought, Marco's probably better, but I'd already said Darby.
Good.
But Darby's great at getting thrown around.
That's true.
Yeah. What about you?
What you say?
What about you? What do you think?
I think we'll get silly bollocks from Big Show on commentary because I've listened to a few podcasts he's been on in the past, and it's what old wrestlers do, where they say the punchline when they're exhaling in the chair. He does that all the time, like, and then they get a laugh. One of them ones. You know what I mean?
But he didn't let me go over, bro.
Yeah, one of those ones. He does that all the time, the Big Show. So you'll have Tony in hysterics, no doubt about it. In terms of matches, I literally don't want to see him wrestle. I've seen all I want to see from the Big Show. There's no doubt he can still do it, and no doubt he can still fulfill a role because he's got himself in fantastic shape thanks to John Cena. You ever heard that story? How John Cena, they were in the gym together and Cena they were speaking about abs, and Big Show says to Cena, who would want to see a giant with abs, and Cena goes, I do. And that then encouraged him to get in the gym and get some abs, which he did so. But yeah, no doubt he can still do some things. But I think I heard, was it Alvarez maybe speculating that, again, I was half asleep when I listened to this, so I don't know if it's right or not, saying that maybe they could book Big Show like Vince did Andre back in the, when Andre was, I'm not saying Big Show's broken down and knackered, but when Andre was broken down and knackered like once every so-and-so and haven't been big and strong and all that malarkey. I think it would be too jarring. I know that the different universes, AEW and WWE, but I think AEW do, acknowledge that wrestling fans have seen some things and remember some things and know some things. So I think it'd be too jarring to do that. But I don't know about wrestling. But I'm looking forward to his commentary because he seems like a funny bloke.
I do like the idea of him having the Haku Andre tag team, where literally Haku does all the work and tags in a Big Show, and then he just falls on him, and that's his contribution. But someone did point out on Twitter, I didn't write this down, who it was. I'm sorry to steal your joke, but we will be able to see the reuniting of a once great team, which of course the Shoguns, Big Show and Billy Gunn.
Oh, nice.
Wasn't expecting you to go that direction.
Yeah, that's why I like that joke on Twitter. Because it reminded me of a once great Power Slam magazine article, which called the article was White Elephant, WYGHT Elephant, because he'd been a bit of a dud. And it talked about the tag teams he was in 2001. He was like Billy Gunn and Big Show, Shoguns. And he listed the rest of them. It was like him and Tajiri, whatever had the name. And then the last one was Big Show and Spike Dudley, and this guy had named him Show Me the Way to the Concession Stand. So yeah, I felt like sharing that.
What's the answer to the question, though?
I want to see Big Show and Billy Gunn.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, you're right. Him being like an ambassador, a hang-around type guy like Bruno in 86, 87, until one time someone goes, I heard you used to be a big wrestler. Well, look at the state here. And then Big Show gets it and goes, you want to see a giant with abs? And lifts up his shirt, and then the guy takes a bump. And you're right. The possibilities are endless. A match with Marco Stunt would be funny. Then we'd all like to see that. Ooh, get him. But yeah, I think he could be used well. As long as they don't treat him like, it's an old guy, yay! And that's it. That's all we need is a dude who was big in 98, like all of wrestling needs right now. Because that would be bad. Because I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
And I will complain online until Tony pays me £5 to say otherwise. And those are my thoughts alone. You have also heard the thoughts of Ross Twiddell. Ross, what else do people... see, he's at the end of the podcast when I mess up every word. How else can people enjoy your thoughts?
This Sunday, I believe, there's a tier list going out about Elimination Chamber winners, with Andrew, that little bald fella. He's making his debut on the series. And then on Monday, I've got the return of Straight to Hell coming out with Aiden English, or Matt Raywalt, as he's known these days by his real name. Really, maybe the best episode of it. Sorry, Maffew and Jack, but maybe the best episode ever, because he was just... I didn't expect it to be so, like, revealing and open about things in WWE, but he just sat there and talked some words, and I was just sat there like, yeah, I'm going to listen to you, you interesting man. So that's on Monday night.
That's exciting.
That's nice. And I was on his Twitch stream, and he was playing Call of Duty, which is weird. I'm like, shouldn't you be, reading a fancy book that's leather bound or whatever?
He does everything. He was running through all the YouTube channels and the social media things he does, and he just does everything.
He likes his whiskey. That's why I like him right now.
Yeah.
His whiskey YouTube. And I said something about whiskey cubes. He was like, oh, don't get them. They're horrible. No. I'm just going to rant. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
I've seen a video where he explains the science of making your own whiskey ice cubes and making them clear by getting one at a fridge or something, because everything separates and you take the stuff from the top of it. I can't remember what it was, but it was very scientific, and I didn't expect so much science to be in whiskey, but there you go.
Yeah. This is a great advert for him, but hey, he did such a great job with you, then we should plug him.
Yeah.
Jack,
definitely.
What have you got for us? Our favourite guy.
Cheers. Well, my new series is continuing, but that'll be out before this video. It might not, because I might ask Pachiti for I might book some days off. So I don't know. Keep an eye out. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. Twitch as well, which I'm not overly keen on at the minute after the police thing. I don't know what to plug. My weekly feature every Wednesday, at midday-ish, on whatever's going on in the world of wrestling on Cultaholic.com.
Fantastic.
No promises, because I've got no idea where my head's at the minute.
Don't worry. Well, you can find updates by following us on Twitter, twitter.com/Cultaholic.
Yeah.
And also the official... Not only do we have the Cultaholic Facebook page, but the official Cultaholic fans page. And they're both filled with lovely people. Because we only know lovely people here. And you can see me play games at 6 p.m. GMT on twitch.tv as well.
What are you playing at the minute?
Well, I did GoldenEye, the Xbox Live Arcade thing that got ported. Not ported, it got leaked.
I was watching this last weekend a bit when you were doing it, and I remember realising just a little snippet I saw, and I realised I'm not as good as you are at GoldenEye. You were just running through the dam on the first level, shooting lads from a mile away. I was like, how's he doing that? Oh my god!
Oh, thank you. This is why I tell my parents, like the Eddie Kingston promo. I was like, this is why it's why you don't have a grandkid. This is why I have this. It's me beat the game on Double O Agent. So yeah, but this week I try to get away from Resident Evil, to be honest with you, the original one, because I'm crap at it. And I'm at a bit now where I'm like, oh no, I'm really, really knackered here. But they're like, play it, we love Resi. I'm like, oh no. So we'll do that, and then until people get bored of it, I'll play something else. There's only one way to find out, and that's going to twitch.tv/Cultaholic, if you're into that type of thing. And if not, do not worry, because there's other things for you to get into, like go to patreon.com/Cultaholic to pledge your vote to the Hall of Fame, or just send us whatever's on your mind at mailback@cultaholic.com. But we've had a lovely podcast, some more lovely than others, but we appreciate you listening and watching. We'd like to end each episode by putting our hands up a puppet's ass, going up to the camera and saying 1, 2, 3, join us.
Join us.